Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So it goes so, the remix.
D&B, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. But then it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty, I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty, I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows, all I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes, I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine, I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, one beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over the Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's D&B, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes, I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine, I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing
touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige? Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? Gorex Corner. Hello, madam. How you doing? Shawapa. Good to see you. Hello, hello. All right, my name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. This is Men of Prestige. Over here, we basically talk about everything relationships from a standpoint of power, self, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, seduction and interaction. If you haven't gotten the book yet, okay, you can get it from loveandprestige.com. You can also access a 30-day free bootcamp over there, virtual bootcamp. And if you're not yet part of the notification gang, you can use lolaandola.com/WhatsApp to access WhatsApp so I can notify you personally when I do go live, or you can send a quick text message, WhatsApp text messages only. You can send it to +1 732 305 8577. All right, awesome. Oh yes, I'm still looking for the sponsor of this particular show. I want to say shout out to all of the present sponsor of the channel. We have Chiri Omwaka, we have Richie, we have Life with Natsu, we have Adesu Aldiri, we have Film Girl, we have Open Floor by Tima, we have Show Mama, we just sponsored. As a matter of fact, let's just call out the sponsor of today's show, $100, a whole $100. Okay, shout out to Show Mama, and I can't wait to have a conversation with you soon. Gorex Corner, of course, always supporting. D Love, of course, always supporting. I want to say thank you to all of you for your support always. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You keep this platform going, and it reassures me that you believe in what I'm doing, and that's a big deal. Okay, so I appreciate you all. Hey Toby, good to see you, Toby. And D Love is here as well. All right, awesome. Did you notice that I'm kind of like picking up the speed quickly because I know I have a lot to cover today? I have a lot to cover. So today is going to be an interesting show. It's going to be a timeline review all the way as far back as 11 years, 12 years. You know, over the past 24 hours in and out, I've been looking at things and just, you know, doing some research and, you know, and trying to see if there's any kind of fact out there. Listen, I am quite aware. I am 100% aware that especially you ladies, most of you, you don't really care for the facts. I get it. I completely get it. Okay. The story that you have is the story that you have. It is what it is. It is true or it is not true. It doesn't matter. It looks true. It quacks like a duck. It must be a duck. I get that. You're not abnormal. It's a pretty normal behavior. Okay. There's nothing crazy about that. Okay. However, my job here, what you really love about what I do here that attracted you here for the first time is that we push a little bit deeper, right? Not just facts. We facts, you know me too, like facts. I don't care for the other side of the story. I kind of care, but it's not a court of law here. So that's not what I'm looking for too. I'm particularly looking for specific lessons. People would tell of themselves, even when they're lying. Okay, so it doesn't really matter, you know. Everything we do here, after all, is alleged, right? So, and everything I suggest is also, you should know, just in case you don't know yet. Everything I also suggest, they're easier said than done. Why? Because once you figure this out, they are highly rewarding. Okay, so with that being said, today we're definitely going to be covering some lessons here. Make sure you say hello in the chat as you're coming in and hit that like button. That way I can acknowledge you properly, you know what I mean? let me acknowledge you properly as you're coming in. Today we're still talking about Stella Damascus. We're talking about not just Stella Damascus, okay? We're talking about Stella Damascus. Stella Damascus is the most relevant reasons why we're covering this today. I take that back. You and me are the most relevant reasons why I am covering this today, okay? Second to you and me, right, is Stella Damascus. Okay, so she's the celebrity that's the most relevant celebrity while we're talking about this. And that's even to tell you that I do understand where a lot of the most popular opinions are coming from. My opinions here are not popular for a reason. I'll let you figure out what that reason is, okay? What I say here are not necessarily truth. They're not, I don't even like the idea of saying that I'm telling the truth. I don't like that, because I don't, whatever I'm considering to be the truth is just my own way of seeing life. So it could make sense in that respect. But these are just my opinions, okay? But they're usually unpopular opinions. And they're not unpopular opinions because I'm deliberately trying to play devil's advocate. No. Okay, they're just the way I see things, okay, but they also work for me, okay, and also the results we're creating in relationships, marriage, and dating today confirms to me that I'm probably very close to being right, So, but with that being said, no big deal. We're just going to have a conversation. She said, "What did I do?" We're going to review everything. We're going to go all the way back. Okay, what did I do? They never asked me. Okay, outside of Teju Babyface, has anybody ever asked her? Well, I found about 3 videos where she was being asked. Her answers were quite defensive. Okay, my verdict is, after watching some of the stuff I watched today, is that Stella was capping big time. She was capping hard.
Stop the cap.
Now, with that being said, I also said she was capping already. It's not the first time I'm saying that. Now, second to that, the public opinion is also capping big. If I double down, capping big time.
Stop the cap.
Okay, when I say capping, not deliberately lying, it's just the way we operate as human beings. We operate from our emotions, how we feel. And this is why there are courts of law. No one cares about the truth, okay? Especially if it rubs against how we already feel. All of us, we're always looking for confirmation bias. Hence, the obsession with karma, okay? Say we feel a certain way already, we're looking for things to confirm that. That's understandable. If you are like that, you are like me. We're all normal people. However, when I'm in this zone, right, then we have to dig a little deeper, right? We have to, because clearly, just how we are often does not work, right? It's not working. You can look around you. You can look at the kind of children we're raising. You can look at the kind of relationships we're raising. At least the loudest ones. It's not working. Something is not working. We got to pay attention. We have to pay attention. Okay. Shout out to Mo Fresh. Hello, Mo Fresh. Gorek says, Stella knows what she's doing now. They all know what they're doing. And I want to say shout out to Doris because I'm quite impressed with her conduct throughout the years. And I want to tell Daniel and all the Daniels in the world to basically stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right. Now, I don't think he knows what he's doing in that respect. I also don't think Stella knows what is. I don't think anyone don't know what they're doing. I think they know what they're doing as in like normal us, right? In that sense, right? What they're doing is trying to claim to be holy pass. Like I'm clean. I didn't do anything. But with respect to what we tried to cover here, which is self-awareness, power intelligence, social intelligence, right? Especially as rock stars, they should know better, but they don't. Emotional intelligence, okay? I think they are just like the rest of us. Seduction, attraction, I think they are ignorant. And I'll I'll let you know what I mean by that today. So please, don't let me just be the one commenting, because I'm going to be using the comment area to cover some of the timelines today. Okay, just to bring you all up to speed. It's easier for me to use the comment area, so I'm just going to use that. July 31st, that's just 2 days ago from this time. July 31st. What happened July 31st? On talks to the king of talk, blah blah blah, you know, that we're basically saying Teju Babyface. Shout out to Teju Babyface. We're going to react to some of his videos today within the fair use guidelines, right? Stella said, I found out that my marriage had ended on YouTube. So I'm kind of like, let's start from the front, then I'll go all the way to the back. Okay, that's what she said 2 days ago. Okay. Also, on the same date, what happened? We found out, right? We found out that Daniel had remarried a third time to another. My wife said she's an actress as well, that they produced some things together. I saw a comment somewhere too that somebody said they produced MTV Sugar together. Daniel and this young lady, Tokpa Oshinogun, right? Tokpa Oshinogun. Right. So who's Daniel? Daniel is now ex-husband to Stella Damascus. Okay. As of last 2 to 3 years. Okay. But she said 2 days ago, this is how we're talking about it right now. This is why it's trending. She said 2 days ago that she found out on YouTube. Okay. Now, when she says she found out on YouTube, she found out that precisely her marriage was over on YouTube. When she said that, I take that as an official, right? She can't claim, like a man or a woman cannot claim that they're surprised like that. Okay, they can't just claim that, oh, you know, I didn't know. Usually people see it coming. There's been issues, right? There's been issues back and forth and stuff like that, you know. So, yep. So that's usually how it happens, you know. But then they'll say, oh, you know, but I think she was talking more so about the officially finding out. Okay. Before I continue, Grace says, I'm trying to deceive the audience. Yes, I don't think she was deliberately trying to deceive the audience. I think our energy is much more consumed about trying to look better than she looks to the public. I think that's where the energy was. So energy, I'm always talking energy. Intentions. I don't think people are intentional as much as they claim to be. I don't think the people will give credit to that they're intentional or intentional either, for the most part. I think even when people are being manipulative and people are being controlling, I don't think they're intentionally trying to do that for the most part. And it's very important that you don't think that way too, because if you think they're being intentional, that means they're actively trying to be your enemy. And there's only one thing you would do to your enemy, and oftentimes this person could be your child, this person could be your husband, could be your partner, could be your siblings, right? But when you understand it for what it is, that it's coming from a place of weakness, right? It's a blurry line between the weakness and they are being like they're hurting you, right? There's a blurry line. I understand the conflict there. The conflict is that this person's hurting me. I get it. They are, just because they're hurting you doesn't mean they're doing it intentionally. Okay, a lot of times it's a coping mechanisms. That does not exonerate them. It doesn't give them the right to do it. The only thing I'm trying to get you to do is understand where it's coming from, okay, so that you can navigate into the future in a better way. Because if you get consumed by the idea that somebody is trying to be your enemy, you will also hurt other people, not just them. You will hurt other people in the process. Okay, you will get into a place you're like, I don't care, right? That's just how life works, you know. Daniel is a baba punk. When he's done with a woman, he will just run like a baby. No discussion, nothing. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that too. We're going to show some signs of that today. Okay. And ABO says she's trying to come to terms with the reality of her greatest fear unfolding. Humans should understand that whatever you give to the universe, you go collect back in due time. Yes. That's true, but it's not often the way we think it is. Okay, oftentimes that's just a rule of life. That's just principles of life. right? Just because energy is neither created nor destroyed. The way we think it is that it's going to be a hurt, just the same way I hurt. That's the way we anticipate it. That's the way we think it's better that it happens. And I have to break the news to you. Bad things happen to good people all the time too. Sorry. I know I'm messing up the funk for everybody. I get it. But I just have to tell you that's the reality. I have to tell you the reality, especially when I know that you'll be able to see it as it is. Okay, so on July, let me get through this. On July 31st, same day, 2 days ago, so a bunch of people say you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Nollywood actor, others drag Stella Damascus as she opens up on third marriage crash. So I'm just bringing you up to speed on what got us here. Okay, so now I want to go all the way back. Okay, I want to go all the way back. Adewale, what's up, my brother? He said, I hope today's show won't center around Stella Gakama. I'd like a much broader conversation. All right, let's see about it. We're going to go all the way back. Okay? So on June 27, 2013, okay? June 27, 2013, I want to say shout out to my bro, my guy, Humble Prince. Humble Prince used to have a show on Sahara Reporters years ago. Okay, I've been on this YouTube game for a long time. 2009, just in case you don't know. Okay, but I've lost some channels. But this is the first time ever that I feel connected to what I am doing. We've just tried many different things, right? But my wife and I actually got on YouTube for the first time in 2009. Okay, I mistakenly deleted that channel. But anyway, back then we also used to feature on a radio show called a radio station, online radio station called, what was the name of course? Under the Rock, it's the name of the company, but I forgot the name of the radio platform now. So we were able to, people invite us, we show up, and we showed up on the Humble Prince platform. So I'm going to play a video for you now. Okay. Well, and that video is Humble Prince. I'm going to play that within the fair use guidelines. I don't think Humble Prince I think he started to do a show again on Facebook recently. I'm not sure. But let's just get into it. We're going to play this video. And this is June 27, 2013. And this is Stella and Daniel Ademinokon. Okay. And they were on the Humble Prince show. And let's see. And they asked them for the first time this issue, and even though she claimed that she was never asked, in fact, in this same radio interview, she claimed that she was never asked, but she was being asked. But then she gave an interesting answer. But I think we should watch it together. Let's go.
You know the news is going on between the both of you and everything. You're live with the Humble Prince, man. Let's just set the record straight for everybody. You're listening.
Hopefully you guys can hear loud and clear. Let me stop the background for now.
Someone said to me, oh my gosh, Scandal is so sweet. And I said, you're talking like this because you're a white man. American. Come to Nigeria and try Scandal is sweet.
You know what someone said to me? Said, Daniel, if you want a scandal, adopt a white baby. I'm like, yeah,
I'm telling you.
adopt a white baby.
Well, I know. I've read all sorts, heard all sorts.
Some people are.
You guys are tired of the karma issue.
A lot of things have been happening. They've posted a lot of things, and but, let me be honest with you.
Please.
My attitude towards these things a couple of years ago would be break down, shut myself in the room, and cry and ask God, what have I done? Why are they doing this to me? I dedicated my youth. I started acting when I was 16. I dedicated my whole life to entertain people, and these are the same people that are doing this to me. They don't care about my children who can read. My first daughter will be 14 in August. They can read. They have friends who talk. They don't care. They hate me. That was a couple of years ago. But now, this 35-year-old woman,
Stella is in the building.
She was 35 at the time.
I read these things, I see it, and I sit down and I'm
almost 10 years ago,
I'm
right?
sitting here eating and drinking in my house with my kids, and there are millions of people out there who have dedicated their own lifespan to me, to talk about me and my personal life and things that they believe I'm doing.
All right, so let her finish that.
Even though they are not.
Let her finish that.
So who's the stupid one now? I'm the one that's been talked about, meaning that I'm moving on with my life, and people just sit down and talk about things they don't know about. Look, if I want to marry 10 men, now me concern, Abi. If I want to have 50 babies, it's up to me.
Would Chief be one of the men you marry?
I'll consider. I'll put him on the list. But the truth is,
Maybe I love Madame.
All right, so the tone here is obviously condescending, right? This was a radio show. They were on YouTube, it was being filmed. And she's saying basically that, okay, a bunch of people carry her own matter on their head, right? That's a condescending tone to the audience that that blessed you with the career, that God has used. Okay, I admit God has used them to bless you with the career that you have. No one should be talking like this if you have been blessed with a platform. You need to be a little bit more responsible with the way you talk to the audience, even if you disagree with them. Even when they troll you, there's still a certain way. I understand that they are humans. When you're on a platform, they're humans. Even on this small platform that we have here, 3,700 subscribers, people will say things sometimes that, it's like I'm human, but I have to remember that I'm blessed with a platform. I have to be a little bit more responsible, right? So let's just continue. So there's a condescending tone there.
but the truth is, here's what I have to say about my life. I'm 35 years old. I've been a widow. I've been through different.
Hit the like button, no.
Of life
I beg.
That any African woman can go through. I've come full circle, and now I am going to be happy.
Amen.
I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to work regardless of what people are saying. People have seen this ring before. They say, is it an engagement ring? Is it an accessory? Is it just fashion? And I always say, whatever you think it is what it is. It's fine. I am not going to sit here and tell you, oh, this is the truth about what happened. Oh, this is not true. Oh, that is not true, because private life means that it's my personal life. It's not.
So she's not going to tell you nada. Shingbai shishi. She's not telling you nothing. Gorek says, "Were ma marry 10 men while Daniel is there." Well, at this point in time, this was again. What's the date we gave on this? This was published on YouTube June 27, 2013. Maybe it was actually much earlier than that, because I think he might have uploaded his video after the show was kind of over. I'm not sure, but it's that day or before that this happened, right? So. Listen, she's trying to make a point. I want to dwell on the point that she's making. She's trying to make a point that it's her life. Again, the only thing I can extract from that is that condescension, all right? She's trying to straight bullet. By the way, everybody's going to receive straight bullet today. All of you. Anybody that watches the show will receive, including myself, will receive straight bullets today. Okay, just warning you ahead of time, okay? All right. Because again, the show is about you and I, not about Stella. Stella just happened to be the relevant celebrity that is helping us get through this, okay? All right. So I think she was more so talking about privacy, okay? Privacy, she was over shalaying. That's what happened when you engage over shalaye. When you have to explain yourself, there's a place you have to get to and just be like, and be okay. Understand that if you say you don't want to say anything, mean it, but it needs to reflect in action. She's saying she doesn't want to say anything, but she's saying a whole lot, and a lot of it is just straight bullet for the public. People can pick, even if people can't tell you're lying, they can pick up a lie. Even if you don't mean to lie, they can pick up a lie. There's a disconnect between what you say you would do and what you are doing, and you open yourself up like that. You expose yourself for people to drag you. So when she's being dragged right now, I'm not exactly surprised that she's being dragged, right? Because there's a disconnect between what you mean and what you say and what's actually happening. That's always going to expose you. This is the real world. That's what I mean by power. Your power is not, for the most part, not in your mouth. Okay? Silence can mean that you're weak, but oftentimes it doesn't necessarily mean you're weak, okay? And especially if you are talking so loud and you haven't really identified all those places where you're weak, yes, the public will drag you in a way that you literally have no control, and you can be engaged in that process for the next, let me guess, this was 2013, next 10 years, and you will never accomplish what you're looking for, which is to be understood, which is you don't mean any harm, you are a good person, they don't believe you. They don't care. The public don't care. You can be condescending all you want. They don't care. Okay. Let me see here. ABO says she's very self-centered. She actually shot herself in the foot saying what she said. Yep. Her tone is now of a humbled one. It is, right? But that's life. Life will teach all of us. Experience, not just karma. I know you don't want to hear karma. Life and experience will tell all of us to calm down. Because when we were younger, right? You figure it out. As soon as you hit 19, you thought you became an adult. Am I lying? I told you you would get straight bullet today. You thought it was only karma, right? No, it's not karma. It's life and experience. We'll show you pepper. We'll show you shege. You will go through something. You will question. Maybe because of one move you made one time like that. It is not. She's been playing victim for a while. This is just her tone. This is how she talks. I bet she'll be like, oh, this is just me. I'm just a blunt person. Like, you collect. You're a blunt person. Okay, continue. She's saying a lot for someone who keeps saying she's very prided. Thank you. Let's continue. There's more to it. There's more.
I can respect that.
Business, I'm having a blast with my life now. I've been through too much pain. For me, pain over, regardless of what anybody has to say.
Wallow, let's applaud this woman.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we have to. Actually, I was carried away with the emotions.
Even that ring, man, it's just not there's not just one stone. There's stone all over
There's
the ring.
stones all over.
I had to wear my shades again, man. And these guys been making fun of me.
Beautiful.
Right. I had to wear my shades again.
Oh, thank you.
Stella, you're taunting the world, man. You're
I know.
Daniel.
I love to do that. Yeah.
No. Okay, so Daniel, do you want to talk on that?
You know,
Because,
I shared the same views with Stella on this thing because you know you see
So
all
for
these-
those of you that have never heard Daniel talk, Daniel is about to talk right now, okay? And Daniel is going to say a few things, okay? Over a couple of videos, okay? So I want us to pay attention to that, to whatever he says, not just what he says, okay? Because we're not caught. This is not a court of law. I want you to pay attention to the in-betweens. Like, just make your own inferences. That's the right word, right? From what he's saying. Like, this guy right here, he has issues. Your opinion, just give me your own honest opinion. Do you think this guy has issues or whatnot outside of what we already know, which is a serial monogamist, right? Do you think this guy has issues? We'll talk about that in a second, but let me just say this really quickly, right? Women don't lie, men don't listen. I say that here from time to time. Women don't lie, men don't listen. What that means is not literal. That's not literally, okay? Of course, there's tons of women that lie, right? What that means is when it comes down to actions, it's actually, I want you to expand that beyond even women, just people. People don't lie, we don't listen, okay? People will tell you the truth with their actions. The question is, are you paying attention or you're getting caught up in your own emotions too? Usually, if you're a normal human being like the rest of us, you're getting caught up in your emotions. So now, emotional intelligence is like, catch myself, I have emotions too. Yes, I'm allowed to, but that's not going to help me long run. Let me pay attention to beyond the obvious. There's some obvious. Some people are evil. Some people just want to hurt you, right? There's some obvious stuff, right? But beyond that, let's dig a little bit deeper, right? People don't lie. We don't listen. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. So pay attention to the actions. The actions can be words too, right? So for example, somebody said they want to be private, but they're doing a lot of talking, and inside of a lot of those talk is condescension and sarcasm. And do you do that in your relationship? Do you enter condescension zone and become sarcastic? Do you do that? Oh yeah. See, your husband, your wife may not be able to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, but they just could tell something is off. The energy is off. They just know that their spirit is denying whatever you're trying to say. So they also disconnect, and then you have what you call conflict. All right. I'm only using what they say, as always. Whatever people say, I don't have any opinion about anything outside of what they say or what I think what they said means. So if you notice here, again, we're going through this video, okay? Very important that we pay attention to that. Now, the question that we're at right now is Daniel Ademinokon superstar producer? I mean, if you produced MTV Sugar, that's a big deal, right? Is he innocent? Is he innocent? Because majority of the rhetoric for the past 24 to 48 hours has been like, this guy is innocent, but I get it. We didn't see a lot of, he's not saying a lot, right? But he's gonna say enough on this live today, from the videos we're going to revisit. So it's about to get started, so let's do that right now. Oh, by the way, we're open. The dollar signs are open. You can super chat if I say anything that makes sense. I appreciate you. But before I continue the video, let me come to the chat really quickly. See, okay, Toby says, looking forward to read her book. Oh, is she writing a book? That's what she should be doing. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. That's what she should be doing. I like the idea of a book if that's what she's doing. Let's continue.
Guys who go on blogs and write stuff. Yeah. I call them faceless people and I call them billboards because they stay there and they advertise and sell sorts of crap.
He calls anybody, like for example me now, faceless, and what is it? He has the same tone, condescending.
They end up not going anywhere because guys who go on blogs and write stuff. Yeah.
People who go on blogs and write stuff, okay? He calls them faceless and what?
I call them faceless people and I call them billboards because
billboards.
They stay there and they advertise and sell sorts of crap, but they end up not going anywhere because they're just in one place, and you move past them to your destination. Okay. You make the most of your life and you come back, but they're still there. Okay. And they're
not still there. They're still publishing other stories because the stories are endless. Why? Because we're all mad. People are creating stories and they continue to create stories, and you should know because you're a media person, but he probably doesn't know. Let's continue, but still the same condescension tone, okay?
The fact that I do so much work in terms of film, creative writing, all TV commercials.
Shout out.
In terms of production, everything I do just to make people happy. It doesn't give anybody the right to put their nose in my business.
Okay,
my private life remains my private life. Whatever.
All right, so let's unpack the meaning of rights in your own business. If you're a public figure, or you are dating or marrying a public figure, it gives the public the right. Who's gonna tell them now? Who's gonna tell these people, man? Who is going to tell them? Someone please tell them. Oh.
Will you keep quiet?
It gives people the right to have extremely strong, sometimes wrong opinion about you. Okay? Okay, it's not just public figure. If you publish anything on your Facebook, on your Instagram, let's say you publish anything mad about your family member, once people pick it up and it becomes news on Instablog Niger, it gives them the right, precisely the right, to carry it, repurpose it. The only right that you reserve is the one that Eniola just exercised. People cannot defame your character. If they outrightly lie and you have time for them, you can sue them to court. They have to prove that they lied. Okay? And if they can't, they might end up in a 2 years sentence, just like that girl who just got sentenced, or 150,000 naira fine. Okay? But that people won't have opinion, you lie. They've been lying since 2013, as you can see.
I'm doing whatever people are saying there and writing. They have the liberty to write and do and say whatever they want to say.
Okay.
It doesn't move me one bit. My stand.
Okay, so see, it does not give you the right to, but now he's saying right to publish, do whatever. Okay. He accepted finally in the same breath.
I don't care what people say about me, how they feel about me. What matters is what God says about me and how God feels about me. That's what counts. So people will continue to write. People will continue to say stuff, but I'm just going to sit back and laugh because they're living my past. They're staying there. Like a party we had like how many weeks ago, people are still talking about the party and we have moved on to other things. I'm looking forward to us discussing now the projects that we're working on.
Oh, we're going to definitely...
people go ahead and keep talking, honestly, but I'm going to keep my stand on keeping my private life private. It's between me, God, and all the parties involved. That's it.
Prince, let me say something though.
There's nothing wrong about what he said. On paper, well, the first half of it where he said they don't have the right to his private life, they do. Okay, particularly what he's trying to say, his opinions, they do. Okay, but then he admitted that they have the right to publish whatever they want. He said he doesn't care. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think he cares or he doesn't care? What do you think? He feels quiet here.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
You think he cares?
I do understand where you guys are coming from, and I actually respect it because I don't. But you guys should understand that you guys are stars, though.
Yeah.
Public figures.
Yeah.
Right?
People are going to talk about public figures. It happens everywhere. So, for the fact that people have questions doesn't mean they're being disrespectful or they're being nosy. You guys are their stars.
Exactly.
You're not the actor, you're a producer.
I agree. Look, if they have
People
questions,
want to
Honestly,
know.
people have been
if they have
people are
questions,
totally disrespectful.
Yes, I agree
Utmostly
with that.
disrespectful.
if they have,
that
if they
comes-
have questions,
Yes.
we don't mind that. Do you
Okay.
understand? But you don't expect me to come to the whole world and put my business in my bedroom to you. But they're not even.
No, we don't expect it, but we expect you to understand. What that brother, DJ Wiley, was saying is that we expect you to understand that people will ask questions about your private life, but you also have the right to answer how you deem fit. We're going to get to Doris' video in a second here. Doris understood the mission. She understood the assignment. It seems like Stella is still struggling to understand the assignment when it comes to public and media handling this type of questions. You know, there's a struggle there, and that struggle is all about emotional intelligence, understanding social intelligence, right? Understanding that people have understanding power, understand that your power is not in telling people to shut up when you're a superstar. Your power is keeping them in mystery, keep them wondering what's going on. Because when people wonder about what you're up to, let me give you a quick lesson. When they wonder what you're up to, right, that's literally attraction building. The same thing is true inside of romantic relationships. When people have to wonder about what you're up to, if they can't figure you out, if you're not predictable, attraction goes in that direction. When you see, that's why running our mouth does not work. That's why overly readily available does not work. Okay, people need to have something to wonder about you, and that draws them to you. This is part of attraction, seduction and attraction. Something you should understand. Maybe you've been talking too much. Back off. That's why you see me say back off small. Back off sometimes. Let's see here. But let me go through the Toby says, yeah, she has a book, but it's fiction though, about girl-child empowerment. She needs to focus on her project. Okay, I'll take that. But if she needs to say anything about marriage and relationship again, I prefer she puts in a book, especially if it's her story. The people that want to troll her will not go inside the book. Why do you think we put all this in the book? Right? Our testimony is in this book. The trolls, they don't have time. They're not going to pick up the book. Rightfully so. They don't have to. They don't need it. They just want to be entertained. That's okay. These are things that superstars like her should understand. Put it in a book. If it looks anything remotely close to shalaye about your personal life, put it inside of the book. So what happened? It's in the book. Have people pick up the book. Not only do you make some money or get a deeper sense of a connection with a person that you can actually serve, but you're impacting, and you can also protect yourself, because the trolls, less trolls will make it into the book. If you're popular enough like Will Smith, enough trolls will get into the book. But even Will Smith's story, people did not go inside the book. He launched a whole book, superstar level type of book, bestseller. The trolls, they refuse to go in the book. They will rather get stuck on what they think this man is from the surface, because he slapped another man because of his wife. I want you to pay attention to that. Shalaye, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you need to put out your story. Sometimes you want to relieve yourself of that burden. I'm just letting you know. Make sure that the audience is right. If the audience, read the room. If the audience is not right, be ready to collect, because they're going to scrutinize everything that you have to say. Dilo says, except Stella also is a billboard because she's a blogger. Oh, she's a blogger now? Stella is a blogger? I think he cares. Gorek said, I don't. Yes, he cares. Not to Hannah. The fact that he's talking about it, he cares. Yes, he does. He does. And we're not saying that. I know he said, I don't want to talk about it, but effectively you're talking about it. So you do care. It's like me saying, I don't care. I just come here like, no, I do care about this platform. I want you to be clear about that. I do care about every single shalaye I do on this platform. I care. Okay, particularly because it's a business venture too. Okay. All right. Ola, are you saying we have a right to their private life? No. I think I also said we have a right to our opinions about whatever comes to the public about their private life. Okay, that's precisely what I'm saying. Hey, fine, MK. Okay, you have a right to your opinion about me. I put myself on this platform. Now I can turn around and say you don't have the right. That doesn't make that true. The reality is that if you go into the courts, you have the right to have an opinion about me. Okay, you even have a right to make me collect. You can even give it to me woto and just tell me that I'm full of it. You have the right for that. That's the meaning of right. Meaning, if we get into the courts, I don't have a case. The only thing you don't have the right to is assault. You don't have the right to lie against me in a way that we can deem as affected my public persona or reputation or anything like that. If you lie in a way that significantly affects me, yes, I can sue you. I have the right to sue too. Oh, even when you lie or have your rightful opinion about me, I also still reserve the right to sue you, even though I will probably lose, right? We throw words around, but we're not paying attention to the intricacy of it, you know? But anyway, let's continue. They're still talking.
Asking questions. People are saying crap.
Speculating.
People are just, they're not
And people
speculating.
are
They're
doing
insinuating. Let me tell you something. One time,
Okay.
somebody said that I can beat my chest and say that Daniel now lives in Abuja with Tonto DK. The person goes online and says, I can beat my chest.
Yes.
I met Tonto DK just once on Rookie Sanders production.
Okay.
I don't have a number. We don't talk. We don't call. Now, if someone says he can beat she can beat her chest to prove this, then it's a fact. Now the whole world goes up.
It's not a fact. That's just an opinion. You see how you just threw that in there real quick? That's not a fact. Okay? That is an opinion that you have the right to sue that person for. If their opinion is significant enough for you, you have the right to sue them. Okay? This was the post it's talking about. This post was made how long ago? We can't even tell. But this was the post. Before there was Stella Damascus, there was lies that he moved on from his marriage, moved on. Tonto DK fingered in Doris and Daniel marriage breakup. Did you know that? I'm sure you knew that. That was a rumor, right? And that's what he's addressing right now, right? It says report has it that there might be imminent breakup in the marriage of Nollywood actress Doris Simeon. This is as far back as, let me see, there's a date somewhere here. I think there's a date. Let's see. I can't see. It says 11:45, but this is a very, very old post. Okay, there's a date. This was March 2012. Okay, according to a cover story on Top Inquirer, right? Tonto DK was reportedly fingered in a marriage. See why they say reportedly? That means it's not a fact. When it says reportedly or allegedly, which became a new language after all, right? Let me get rid of that before I start. See, those old posts, they start becoming, let me get rid of that. They start like spams coming and stuff like that. They start eating up all those websites. That tells you how old that website was, right? That's what he's talking about. He's addressing it right now. Let's see what he says about that rumor with Tonto DK.
It's a fact. And I don't know to prove this, then it's a fact. Now the whole world goes upside down saying this is a fact. And I don't know who Tonto is. I know she's an actress, she's a colleague, but that's about it. So now, will I now sit here and be answering such questions?
Every question.
So people don't ask questions; they only conclude in their hearts and put it out
we were
there.
shooting in.
This is what they're doing, both of them, especially Stella, who is not being asked a question right now. What they're doing is called shalaye, right? What rumor? Ask them what rumor. Oh, that we're together? Well, that's our private life. We don't talk about that, but we work together. We have businesses together. Well, I choose to stop, right there. We're not going to talk about our private life. Very awkward. You see the silence? Very awkward silence. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Whoever talks first. Just shut up. So, like I was saying, we do have a new book coming out. You've never seen that before. You've seen what I'm talking about. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing when they do that. But when you engage why you don't want to answer people, this is why Stella has been dragged. When I talked to my wife about this, she made like the reason why, because she loves Stella and she understood completely where the dragging coming from. She said, this girl talks too much. She's doing too much. Like her voice is all over the place about this guy's ex-marriage, even though she claims she doesn't want to talk.
Cameroon, the movie I told you about, Unspoken, and we were shooting there, and somebody calls me to say, Stella, have you heard what's going on the internet? I'm like, what? They said that NDLE arrested you at the airport.
With drugs.
I'm like, with drugs. I'm like, what? Excuse me? I started making calls. We even started calling the
They even
NDLE.
wrote a date.
They put a date, and on that date, I was filming.
We had
with
left
people.
Nigeria like
I started
a
asking
week
everybody
before that.
around me, are you sure I was here? Or was it? At the end of the day, I came back and
So if the conversation was about media, it would be a fit what they're talking about. The truth is that a lot of bloggers are going to end up in jail. I'm going to say it right now. I've been telling my wife this for years. People outrightly in Nigeria sit down and literally cook up a story. Okay, they cook up a story about what they don't know nothing about. Somebody's going to end up in jail because they don't have the money. They might sue you. Typically, they sue you for money, for damages. But if you don't have the money, they'll lock you up. You can 3 years from now, you can reference back to what I'm saying right now. It's going to keep happening, especially after today that Eniola Badmus managed to get this girl in jail. You can see more of that is going to keep happening, okay? Just keep it. So they're right about this, but this will fit into more of a conversation about media, about bloggers' ethics and stuff like that, right? But the question they asked them, this is Shalaye at this point, it was about their personal life. Not only that, all of us collected stray bullets in this stuff. As far back as 10 years, when I wasn't even following it. Wait, let me come to the chat. Pardon my manners real quick. Like, be a May Edochie, damn it. Yeah, it's tough. It's easier said than done, as you know. But, yeah, that's what these people should be learning how to do. Or a Doris Simeon. Doris did it so well. Dilo says, wait, so Stella is not a home wrecker. Oh, you caught that, D-Love. You caught that. From this Tonto DK rumor, looks like Daniel and Doris may have been separated for a while. Abi, I am missing something. Just wait for it. We're going to uncover this holistically. If you don't finish it today, hopefully we have enough time tomorrow. No crazy news comes out tomorrow, trendy. Okay, but we'll get there. We're following the timeline. Remember, right now we're still on. Let me tell you, we're still on June 27, 2013. That's what we're still on today. Okay, right now. We're going back to 2013. ABO says, the guy has always been a calculating transactional kind of person. However, these choices are... it looks like your comment cut off there. Toby says, someone once said, after Boko Haram, bloggers are the biggest menace. Oh, yeah. Some of them are going to end up in jail. Even secondhand. Oh, no, I picked the story up from somewhere else. It doesn't matter. You will sleep in jail first, and just write my words down, okay? Anyway.
NDLEA ambassador. I'm one of the very first ambassadors to come out of Nigeria for National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
NDLEA.
If I had carried drugs, would they make me an ambassador? Sure. But at that time, if you Google my...
So there was a rumor that she was carrying drugs.
Stella was caught for carrying drugs, and people were like, are you serious? I've always known. Can you imagine? She looks so quiet, but that...
in the comments that
how many people am I going to keep answering this question?
But Stella, is this a wrong question for your fans to ask if you guys are together? Is that too much?
This guy.
Well, in a way, yes.
He's good.
In a way, yes, because they've asked questions.
No, it is not a wrong question. It's not a stupid question either. Okay? There could be stupid answers for it. That was a stupid answer. With all due respect. It's not wrong. Are you guys together? How's that wrong? I don't understand. It's just a question. How can a question be so wrong so quick? Jesus Christ.
Things like this before. You guys are too close. What's going on? And we said we work together. That's what I want you to know. Leave it at that. We are partners. We have our business documents to prove it. We have two companies.
Just watch it. Watch
50-50.
Watch this.
Money comes in, we split it. Now, whatever it is that is extra in my life, that's personal, it's my business. I will let you say whatever you want.
No, you already answered the question. You said guys.
You answered the question.
It's good enough. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. People who are...
You answered the question. Not the part where she said, no, they don't have the right. No, actually that part. Because the question was, so people don't have the right to ask you guys if you guys are together. That is a private situation. That if you get off the information, that would be private, but it now effectively becomes public, right? And then you went into Shalaye.
Alright, and stuff now have known this before now. They knew that we're doing business like 6, 7 months, 8 months.
But that status can change, bro. Where's this disconnect coming from?
Even a year ago, people knew that. People wrote about the boutique we opened in Abuja, Code 55. They wrote about it, they talked about it, they talked about the Index 2 Plaza we opened in Abuja.
Please, all 25 of you that haven't liked the video, please like the video. Thank you.
Everything.
If I had just
People do like to sensationalize everything. They do. These are just the reality of life that you have to work with. Okay? I know that if I sensationalize this topic right now and I start dragging any one of the parties, this video will blow up right now. We will double instantly in numbers because I'm dragging, because it's glass balls. It's just a reality. You have to, if that's not your goal, you work with it, right? But he's saying it like as some kind of defensive stuff. People are being disrespectful. No, they're not being disrespectful. They are being people. They are being the public. There are trolls. Trolls are trolls because they do have the right to do that. You also have the right to go and find them if you have the resources and make them pay. You also have that right. Okay?
They have always known that, but people like to sensationalize everything.
If I had just want to make one point about what you guys are saying, and I think it's, I understand why you would be passionate about it, but I think the best route to go is either to talk about it or ignore it.
Oh yeah.
Address it.
No, you shouldn't even address it. Quite frankly,
No. You don't have to.
You know how often
tell them what they want to hear.
Stella won't listen. That's why. If it was up to Daniel seems like he's able to ignore a lot. Stella can't. In fact, when I was digging through some of this story, Stella has been doing some clapbacks too. I can appreciate a little clapback for the wrong person, the type that Daddy Freeze does. I can appreciate that. Okay, in light jokes and stuff like that, I can appreciate that. But you better be able to keep up with it. You have to keep that same energy for a long time. Daddy Freeze obviously can keep it up, right? But if you're gonna catch feelings, and then they will take the one-time moment where you overreacted will be a confirmation that they are correct. And they will repeat that 10 years from now when you do collect quote-unquote karma. Even if it's not really karma. It's just the way life works.
Address it how you want to.
No. This is, I'm just my humble opinion. Right. My humble
opinion.
Rihanna and Jay-Z. We've heard this, God, for how long? Foxy Brown actually just came out and dished out some stuff on Jay-Z.
Let's not talk about that.
He's a timeout.
That's besides the point.
I don't think it was very fun.
The truth of the matter is you will never hear Jay-Z talk about Rihanna.
It. Yeah.
Never.
You know why Jay-Z would never talk about it? He doesn't have time for it. Not just because he's a perfect human being. It's not. No one is perfect, like I said. Like, there's no vacuum. If you have time for it, you will talk about it. If you have time for BS, you will talk about it. The idle mind is the devil's playground. ABO says the guy has always been okay. We already covered that. Okay. More Fresh says, I believe Stella felt the need to shalaye because Mr. Daniel should have cleared the air regarding the timelines. That's a good point. Okay. But Stella is responsible for her actions and her reactions. You are responsible for your reactions. Your reactions are actions you're responsible for. Right? But yes, if he could clear the air, that will protect this lady. But I don't know if you're paying attention to Daniel's personality, a little bit of it yet. Right? Stella probably doesn't listen. She's like, I told you, don't address that, but you won't listen. See? That's probably one of the reasons why their marriage could not sustain over time, because Stella might have attempted to be the man in that relationship. Are you not paying attention to that yet? Right? And a guy like that, you attempt to be a man, he will actually show you that he's the woman. He will run away from you. He will show you quickly. Let's continue. Let me not make too much, right? But as you can see here, he kept quiet while Madame got the husband snatcher title. Yeah. Yep. Gracious greatness. What's going on, brother? Everyone, special greetings, MOP. Special to you. Same to you. Good to see you, bro. Let's continue.
Important.
Yeah.
When you talk about something, you say, I see, more, and they're upset. And it's because it's true. You see it again.
See?
It's nonsense.
This guy predicted what's happening 10 years later. He said?
Never. It's unimportant.
Yeah.
When you talk about something,
and they're upset, and it's because it's true. You see it again.
It's because it's true. We got them, right? It is true. It must be true.
It's nonsense.
You know my revenge.
Wait. Sorry, go ahead.
My revenge for this?
Success.
Exactly.
Wonderful project.
Yeah, but that's action that need to say that more. We need action saying that more than your words. Okay, words are cheap talk is cheap.
That's it.
Definitely fantastic. And
and we're saying that in hindsight, 2020, right? We're saying that because it's 10 years later, right? But if you believe that, you need to actually show the success, right? In this case, we're talking about marriage. It's hard to point finger at a 10 years old marriage and say that's success. But people can look at you the way you conduct yourself. They can feel it. They can see if there's authenticity there, and they can make their own. You have to also allow them to make their own conclusion if this is a healthy situation or not. What I saw when they tried to do a show together about relationship, there was a disconnect. Personally, that's my personal opinion. Okay, see, they can't sue me for that because that's just a personal opinion, right? It looked like there's a disconnect from what I could see body language wise, right? That's just an opinion. If you take me to court for that, the judge will be like, yeah, he has an opinion. What's the probably?
I would like to thank you guys for addressing that,
But fans are gonna do that. I mean, that's what there's no way to stop.
Let me give you an
fans
example.
Are gonna do that.
Fans are gonna do what they do.
Look at me, I've been so gentle and calm in my own place making films. They've made me so popular. They want to cover for Nigeria. I bow for myself.
I'm even glad. What I'm even glad is that you guys
said they made him popular.
My show. So the questions have been answered now. You've heard from the horse's mouth.
First, last, and only time they will hear this issue.
Exactly.
I have one question for Stella.
Hold on. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on, but I want to say to what people are talking about because the first time I ever met you in my life was 2 weeks ago at your birthday party.
Oh, okay.
I was there with my homegirl Shakira and Diva, who was supposed to be my co-host.
Yeah.
I sat with you for 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And that picture made Bella Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
so I was sitting next to you, right?
And
I started getting
he called me at 3 a.m.
I was starting getting Nigeria. No, seriously. No, I don't. Of course I won't do that. But I started getting calls from Nigeria, like, we saw you in Bella Nigeria, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And people were now saying, what do you and I have?
Exactly.
I'm dead serious. And the first thing I did was when I saw I didn't see the picture. I don't really go to Bella like that, but the first thing I did, I went to show my wife. I said, baby, look, this is the picture that's facing around. She was like, oh, that's Stella Damascus. I was like, thank God, that's how she's taking it. And she was like, I was like,
you see, there's one thing about Stella.
So, yeah.
If Stella takes a picture with my puppy, the puppy becomes famous.
Thank God. That actually gave me
this microphone.
All right, hopefully they won't flag because of that video they're playing. Let's get back to some of the stuff on the timeline. We're getting back to the timeline. Okay. We only covered one event so far. The rest of it, we're going to fly through it. You'll see that it makes complete sense as we're going through it, actually. So basically on May 12, 2014, Daniel reveals, okay, he reveals that he didn't have a very good relationship with his father, okay. And I'm going to try to find that video really quickly. And I'll pull that up. Let me see if I can find it. Let's refresh this. Let's see. There was another session with. So there was another confirmation of that with. Let's see here. Just hold on 1 second. It's somewhere here. Let's see. And then I gotta come into the becoming friends. There you go. Okay, let me find it here. Let's go to history because I know I played it earlier. Okay, there you go. I found it. Okay, so
that's something I'm looking for. I'm excited about it. Yeah, so
let's get back here.
Fantastic,
okay,
man.
all right.
What inspired?
So this video right here was another time he came on. So for those of you that haven't seen Daniel talk a lot, I decided to pull this up so you can at least feel on his energy and see if you can make some kind of opinion out of what you see, right? Let's see. ABO says these stories always follow the same pattern. Can they not be professional enough to give out positive vibes? Thank you. Like it's really that simple. Well, I guess that's why they are called entertainers, right? They are entertainers, but they can be professional. If they can just try a little bit and be professional, it will go a long way, right? Mofresh says, could the issue be power play? Stella wanted a man to defend her publicly, but felt it was unnecessary. I can bet my lively monthlyhood on it that is part of the issues. every woman will encounter one or two scenarios where they felt like you're not defending them enough. And that's me generalizing. I'm aware. Just tell me if you've never been in that position. Then I would say, okay, yes, I generalized. Most women have been in that position where, like, you know what? I felt like you could have defended me more, but you didn't. You just muted, which is almost like you are agreeing that the other person is, even if it's in the private, this will be a battle that will be private, you know. But Chinye, what's going on, lady? How are you? All right, so let's keep going. I'm gonna play this video right now, and then you can hear him talk about his father a little bit. Maybe you can get something out of it.
Inspired you to make that video?
So he did a video. His son is 15 now, and I can relate with him because I do have a 15-year-old. His son is now 15, and he did a video, a music video. He does music too. A lot of people didn't know he does music, play music, produce and stuff like that. And he did a video, and they're asking him about that video, and so he's going to talk a little bit about his father.
Let me segue. You made a video to commemorate your son's, I believe it's his 7th birthday.
Yep.
That was a fantastic video.
7th birthday is 15 today, so that's 8 years ago.
We've been playing it on Sahara FM radio and Sahara TV. It's gotten a lot of feedback, positive feedback. What inspired you to make that video?
You know, I lost my dad a few years ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, you know, and my childhood was really good. It was pretty fun. But, you know, my dad wasn't like the perfect father, so to speak. You know my story. I had my issues with him and my mom. But, you know, sometimes as a man,
he had issues with him and the mom. Okay.
And you think, you wish there's some things your father could have said to you, or some things he could have spoken into your life to make you feel good or make you have a certain kind of outlook on life. So when David was going, I didn't get that from my dad really. And you know, David and I are pretty close. We do virtually everything together. And when I was going to turn 7, I thought, you know, what would I do that will stand the test of time, that will make my son know that I put certain effort into doing something specifically for you? Yes, I'm going to send you to school and college and raise you and give you all the things you need, but for me to step out of my regular comfort zone and do something away from the ordinary, I thought it would be nice to do that for him. And yes, I do music. I'm doing music all my life, and that's not part of me that other people know. So I thought, look, stepping away from what people know me as a filmmaker to step into that zone of making music for him and being able to do that with him, I thought it was going to be cool. And we enjoyed working on it together. It was cool. And I just wanted to do something that he would see and enjoy. And he goes around the house singing the song now.
Yeah, and you know, that's a good, that's a
All right, so there you have it right there. We know that he had troubled relationship with his father. Particularly, there's a news that covered it on that date that you're looking at on the screen, May 12, 2014. He reviewed somewhere, in some report somewhere, that his father was abusive to his mother. Okay, do you think that would affect how a man moves in relationship over time, as he becomes a man into adulthood, right? Do you think he might end up reflecting on how he fathers? Like he can love his son to an extent that he's willing to do everything wrong in the books. Am I justifying it? No, I just call it wrong. Pay attention. Okay. Do you think he might be willing to do everything wrong because he felt like his father was missing in his life, and is willing to make sure that it's in his son's life, including using the powers that be in Nigeria to accomplish that? Do you think that's possible? Right? Something to just pay attention to as we continue to dig through some of these stories, you know. But yes, let's move on forward to December 16, 2014. Okay. What happened December 16, 2014? Golden Icon. A couple of videos were published on Golden Icon, which is a channel that's been dead since then. Let me see. Let me find them right now. Okay. So Stella was on Golden Icon with a lady called Emma Emerson. Let's see here. I'm going to play that video for you. And Stella has been consistent. Let me just tell you that Stella has been consistent, you know. And that's not necessarily a good thing, okay? But let me just play that video for you, and then we'll take it from there. And then we'll react to it as we go. you know. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
Been with you here, and we've watched you two interact and actually do this. It's a lovely package. You're an award-winning actress. He's an award-winning director. So for us, it's like a win-win. You can't go wrong with both of you. But that's on a professional level. Now it's personal thing, because the same way I celebrate you guys is the same way others will look at you like, what are these two doing together?
I'm gonna fast forward until
that
the
I
juice
saw
starts.
on the picture that we posted online during Guiama is that so these two are really, they're still doing this, you know, they're still here, and you guys actually out in public.
Yeah.
Let me say, I was happy to see that.
Okay.
I haven't seen that before, and I felt like you were hiding, or maybe, like I said, I'm from the outside looking. So tell me, what's the deal with the both of you? And when I say what's the deal, is what brought this together?
Together, okay. Let me put it this way.
Yes.
Let me help you hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
One of the comments that I that I have seen consistently over and over again is Stella snatches somebody's husband.
Yeah.
Stella the husband snatcher, which is what has been going on. And I had sworn that I would never talk about this or even listen or stress myself about this thing, but I've decided to do this now so that I end this once and for all.
Okay.
All right, let me pause for a second. Here's why. We're missing 25 likes. If you can just take a second really quickly, go ahead and help me turn up on the like. This is how we signal the algorithms that you're actually getting some type of value, even if it's entertainment only. Okay, but I appreciate you. As you go back, just collapse the chat for a second if you need to, and hit on the like button while I address some of this comment here. Fine MK says he's an amazing musician, been playing since he was a teenager, if not younger. Plays the bass guitar. Oh, I love the bass guitar. Toby says Stella is super confident. She has always been that way. I think the confidence is a big part of what we're talking about. Okay, I actually agree with that. I think it's a big part of the thing is that everything in life is a double-edged sword. When you're confident, sometimes you don't know when to slow down. Sometimes you don't know when you're using it to hurt yourself, right? So I agree with that. Daniel is very masculine. So also maybe that way. While Daniel is very masculine, he complained that Doris turned him into a house husband. That is not a masculine man. Okay, that doesn't sound like a masculine man to me. Okay, it doesn't mean it's not necessarily true. Okay, but he will be actively looking for a way to turn that around if it was truly masculine. That would literally be impossible. Okay, and he will never be able to come out and say that out loud if it's truly quote unquote masculine. Yeah, that's actually a feminine behavior. That's feminine energy that would do that. But anyway, into a house husband and left him to look after the baby while she went to work. Yeah, so I saw some of that complaint online somewhere. I saw that somewhere where Doris was being accused of being. She's also a rock star in her own right. She's an actress, so she was out there a lot. She was being accused of that as well. But yes, but I don't know. That's a loaded comment, Toby. I don't. He might be a masculine guy, but that's not that. That right there would negate that instantly. ABO says, I would say that's asking too much from another human, wanting them to defend you. It's a feeling. It's an emotional thing, right? You're right on paper, right? But it's an emotional thing. It's like you feel like this person doesn't have your back. It's more like that. Not like you wake up every day and you should just be protecting me everywhere. It's just it's more of an emotional thing that men should be aware of. You don't want to, if your wife is saying, I feel like you never defend me, she just wants you, it's not your cue to overreact. She wants you to have her back. That's what that means, okay? And you might be caught up in your emotions too, and you're trying to prove yourself and try to relax. You'll make it worse. It's actually simpler than it looks. She just wants you to she wants to feel like you have her back. Feelings. If you can just say, I have your back, babe. I have your back. No, that's not what I mean. If you can just start with that, you'll be better off than trying to prove that you're right, okay? However, will you always be in a position to offer the same? Yeah, that's why we're men, right? That's why we're men. We have double standard in our hands right now, and there's double standards on both sides, right? It's like asking my wife, like if she, like her saying chivalry, right? Open the door for me. She doesn't care for that. But let's say she does that, right? And I'm not saying, will you open the door for me too? You know, there's a disconnect, like right? Could make sense, right? So yes, she's feeling good feeling when someone is there for you. Yes, it's a good feeling. Yep. So Toby says, yeah, could be parenting from a place of trauma. He also said the baby was very sick and Doris didn't come to the hospital to check on him. He said the baby wasn't getting enough care and attention. When a man is caught up in his emotions, he might say something like, how come you're not here right now? You might actually be making your way home, right? But it's not enough time for him. The feelings, it's still emotional, right? All the feelings of that moment, like how could you, right? And you're trying to explain yourself, and he just, I'm not saying that's what happened, but something to that effect. Especially a man who feels like the father was not there, so he's overly engaged with, we need to be there for my baby. He won't know when he starts to hurt other people in his life, in the spirit of, I need to make sure that this baby is fine. That's why I keep telling you, it's not just about right and wrong. You guys are obsessed with right and wrong. I keep telling you it's not. Okay, you're right if it's wrong. If you think it's right, you're right. But there's more to the stories, right? A lot of people will attempt to do the right thing, effectively hurt the people in their life. I need you all to keep paying attention to that. That's where the work is. It's the easiest thing to point out right and wrong. That's the easiest thing to do in life. You and I know what's right and what's wrong. Nobody needs to teach you that anymore. But you have more than enough platforms that will point that out for you anyway, even if you don't know, right? Your pastors will do that for you. But clearly that's not working, right? But yes, he also said the baby, yeah, we already covered that. ABO said, until humans give up on the entitlement mindset, stories such as this will keep popping up on a daily basis. That's a double-edged sword too. Now I want you to think, I won't address it, I want you to think, what's the other side of this, what you just said? Because entitlement, somebody is observing it as entitlement. What would be the flip side of it? Remember, everything is double-edged sword, right? Let me keep moving so I don't nitpick too much. The fact that Stella felt the need to shalaye continuously over the years means it seriously affected her, even though she puts up a front, and it does. So anytime people overreact or mansplain or shalaye, there's an element of truth. Even if it's not the absolute truth, there's some kind of element of truth. That truth could be in the form of doubt. Like, I'm a husband snatcher, low Tony. Yeah, the kind of timeline was kind of blurry. Maybe he was lying to me. See, even if she was trying to do the right thing, and let's say, hypothetically, he lied to her, right? The fact that doubt is there, right? And it's leaving because social media, thanks to social media, they make it continue to breathe. Every time she sees something that tampers with that insecurity, they mansplain, they shalaye. You get it? So shalaye is directly related to insecurity. It's not necessarily that it's a lie or that it's a truth. There's some kind of insecurity about what could be the truth or what could be the lie. That's when, if I feel secure in myself, which is almost impossible. Like, let's say I'm 100% secure in myself. Almost impossible, by the way. It would be hard for you to get a reaction out of me. Okay? Because I can't even relate. Particularly not because I'm better. I can't relate with what you're talking about. Right? So that's the issue. More like insecurity, not necessarily that there's some truth to it. As far as how she feels that there might be some truth to it. It's insecurity precisely. I love the bass and percussion as well. She said she cried about it. It must be difficult to be despised by so many people. So there was the rumors that she was doing that, and the truth is I can't find any documentation anywhere for that, but I saw the rumors. The men that are obsessed with masculinity feel like doing domestic things in the house makes them not be masculine, which is a bunch of bull. Yeah, like if I want to wash plate, I wash plate. If I want to wash my wife's pata, is it your wife's pata? I be your madney. See, that right there is closer to masculinity. I'm not saying the masculine. It's closer to masculinity that the person that overreacts to that, me, but I'm washing pata. See, that person is more feminine. They're overreacting. The person that says, that person who is sure of themselves, we're human beings, we're not lions, we're not animals. That person that's sure of themselves is closer to masculinity than whatever they made up for you guys on the internet. Okay. The shalaying is good for her towards her healing. She should let it all out and move on. I disagree. I only agree if it's a book. Okay. The trolls, nothing you can do to satisfy anybody who's already made up their mind that you're wrong. There's nothing you can do about it. That's part of the lessons today. Okay. If you really need to pour it out, you pour it out to a therapist or inside a book, because the trolls will probably not make it into the book. They already made up their mind, remember? Okay. But the people that make it into the book are people who will rock with you, that you can there's actually room to add value to their life, to impact their life. Okay. We'll continue in a second. You guys are giving me some content here. She has a repeated questions replaying on her mind. Yes. Which she's denying or not ready to be truthful with. Yes. That sounds more like insecurity for me. That's why she's overreacting. So she's overreacting does not make it conclusive that she's guilty, but she doubts. She has doubts. She's thinking herself that she might be guilty. And that's why she's engaging this. And it's a very difficult thing to do too. It's a very difficult place to be when you feel like, why these people do, I didn't do, but the only thing you remember is your own intentions, which I tell you all the time. That ends up in the pot all the time. Intentions, right? Let's continue.
First of all, let me paint a picture for you, and then you tell me what makes sense to you or not. Okay. When I looked up the word snatch or steal,
dictionary meaning,
it means forcefully taking something away from its original position.
Dictionary meaning.
From its original position to another position. Something that does not belong to you, right? That's what I gathered was the meaning of snatch or steal.
Stella.
And I wondered to myself, how is it possible to go to somebody's home and take a man?
Oh no,
take his son
say it ain't so.
away from
Come
his
on.
home and say, follow me. You are a man, and according to their story, he is happily married inside his home. His family complete. And I walk in to that home to
Sheba. What do I tell you guys about dictionary meanings all the time? Dictionary meanings. Yeah. Don't do dictionary meanings, okay? Words have a meaning. No, you're wrong. Who is interpreting the meaning? Okay.
Take a man, able-bodied man, and a kid away from somebody's hand, and you're there looking at me.
Who is going to tell Auntie Stella that's not what husband snatching means? Who's going to tell her that's not what it means? Who's going to tell her right now? Let me see. More fresh. The rumor swirling around back then was that parents from both sides were against the Doris marriage. The marriage was on the rocks for a long time. That's a fact at this point. I've seen that in so many places. I have to assume that that's very close to the truth, you know. I've seen that in a few places, and I think Doris knew that too, you know. ABO says, who's going to buy her book with all these negative vibes around her? She has fans. Okay, but the negative ones are loudest, of course, but she has fans. If she launches a book, people will buy it. Particularly if she launches a book about marriage and relationship, about her marriage, and if she launches a book about her marriages, all three of them, oh yeah, that's a hit. But is she afraid to do that because of the water from social media? She probably is afraid of doing that right now. Okay, but it's an instant hit. If she can control herself to launch a book and pour her heart, including if she wants to lie, I don't care. People will still eat it up. If she's launching a book about what did Toby say earlier, if she's launching a book about Boko Haram and what's the other thing? Bring our girls back from Chibok girls. If she's launching a book about that, no one cares. Okay, that's the honest truth. They don't care. They don't care. Let's continue.
How does that work? I've asked, did they accuse me of using voodoo? Yes or no? They said no. Okay. Did I put a gun to anybody's head?
That's not what husband snatching means. So this is what they call disingenuous.
So logically, if people actually sit down and think about it intelligently, how do you snatch somebody from somebody?
So they actually call this intellectual something. When you are being intellectually disingenuous, they call it something else. Somebody help me in the chat. When you know that that's not what they're talking about, but you decide to go this other, you decide to go this other direction entirely. Like, yeah, nah.
And the person is there looking at you. So when you see a man who has severed ties with a woman and decides to move on with his life, and you feel that there is something in this man that you like, and he likes you. I'm not a kid, I'm 36 years old. I'm not about to start hiding myself.
It's about a year
I was
later
waiting for
from
somebody
the last
to actually ask me the question, because all I've heard for the past 2-3 years are rumors. They said, blogs said.
No, but they ask you, Auntie Stella, you said you don't want to answer, but then you went to Shalaye mode and you're still doing the Shalaye, right? They ask you, but let's see, maybe she'll tell us what really happened. Did you snatch your husband or not? Maybe she can get out of the dictionary for a second. Did you snatch your husband or not? Ladies, let me tell you something. You've been telling yourself for a long time that it's impossible to snatch your husband. Yes, it is possible. Okay? If someone is talking about it, that means they feel it is true. You need to acknowledge that. If you're going to do Shalaye, acknowledge that first. Okay? Acknowledge that first. No, the idea wasn't to go and put a rope behind somebody's legs or put a gun to them. No, that's not what husband snatching means. You can also ask them, what do you mean by husband snatching? What they mean is that if you weren't available, there's a chance, small chance, just small chance that maybe their husband can look at them the second time and then rekindle the love they used to have. But because you are available, it's all your fault. You need to first of all acknowledge that that's what they're saying first before you say there's no such thing as husband snatching. Another thing that I notice, especially ladies, okay, is that you choose when you agree if there is husband snatching or not. Okay? If it's a situation where you want to drag the woman who husband snatch, you agree that there is husband snatching. But if it's a situation where the woman is insignificant, inconsequential, right? You're like, no, hold the man accountable. Let's hold the man accountable. There's no such thing as this person is just a Mongo pack. Right? Let's hold the man accountable. You choose when you decide when and how you want to decide if there's husband snatching or not. It's case by case. Is in a particular case you said there's no such thing. The man in the other case you said there is. Have you paid attention to that? Cap. That's what I mean by you are capping. So Auntie Stella is capping, but you are doubling down on the capping. Oh, heavy. Oh, husband snatching in the bottle. ABS says, listen to her. There's a lot going on with her internally. Childhood trauma. It needs to be heard. Yeah, I agree. But there's a way to do it right. There's a way to do it that actually perpetuates the issues. She shouldn't launch a book. It would be a flop. Okay. I think she should. If she's going to keep talking, I think she should. If she's going to keep talking, doing Shalaye like this, she should. That would have been imagine if she launched a book, a tell-all book, instead of trying to be marriage coach after that interview came out 2 days ago. Just imagine that. Right? She keeps telling us her age. Yeah, she should be about 44 now, I guess. Mo Fresh, may I ask, was there ever a place where Doris officially blamed Stella for her marriage breakdown? Or did people just assume so because she was the next woman Daniel dated? We will answer that question. The next video is going to be Doris. We're going to react to that before we leave today. I promise. We will answer that question. It seems the marriage was already over before Madam Ingenious. Is it ingenious? What's the word? Pressure. Why are you doing like this now?
Everything I do,
Toby says, I've also been asking the same question. Oh, I know. Finally, the answers. We're here to unpack the answers together now. So, relax, grab your drinks. Let's continue.
This said, nobody has been bold enough to confront me and ask me. So I said, if I steal something from somebody and the person is really the owner of the thing, you come and ask me, you took something from me, give me back.
No, Auntie Stella, that's not how it works.
But nobody was able to do that. And I'm like, if I meet an able-bodied man that has left and moved on, that is not even in the same house with whoever, and is not doing anything with whoever, and both parties have decided that this thing is not going anywhere.
See, I believe her that marriage was over before she took over. But the public, they don't believe her. And I understand why they don't believe her. It doesn't need to be coming from her. Right? You know, Yoruba people say, I don't know. Somebody, if you know Yoruba, please help me. Toby, can you help me with that? I don't know. I can't think. There's no way I'm going to try to translate that into English. Ajekelano omokuleni. Okay? The context is that Yoruba people believe for a long time that it's witches that kill, that deletes small babies. Okay? Right? So you can't be the one to be saying that you didn't steal a husband. That the best person for that to come from will have to be Doris. It can't come from Daniel either. They won't believe you. Okay? They won't. So there's a big issue with this coming from her.
And they have gone their separate ways.
Especially when she tried to go in the dictionary.
Why is it that it's easier for the world to blame the woman that the man has decided to end up with? Why is it that it is always that woman that scattered the home? The two people that did things that nobody was there. Nobody says.
Ladies, listen. You can scatter homes. Even if you're not aware you were scattering homes. I need you to be aware of that. Okay? Okay? If you think it's possible that somebody can lie to you, okay, it's possible for you to scatter homes. Maybe if she knew this, she would stop doing the explanation. Okay? Again, I believe her that marriage was over before she took over, right? But I believe that there's residues. When a marriage is over, there's residues in so many ways, right? And when you put that together with the fact that there's a custody issue between your newly found husband and the ex-wife, when you put all that together, yeah, the last thing you want to do is be explaining yourself to the public because they don't believe you. The only person they are hoping to hear something from ever, if anything, about this issue will have to be Doris Simeon, the ex-wife. She will have to say, hands off.
Oh, something must have happened between these two people, but it is always somebody else that is the problem. And I always say, I do not tolerate blaming anybody for your own problems. I've had problems. After my late husband died, I got married again. And the marriage.
That's part of the problems. That's part of the problems. When you don't tolerate people blaming, when they are busy blaming other people for their problems, did you take the time to hear their story? Do you understand where they're coming from, where they do that? Or you're just like, no, you can't blame, right? See, there's no idea in life, right? It's an idea. On paper, it's perfect. But when it comes to practice, it's a double-edged sword. You can use it to cut both ways. As much as you want to be disciplinarian, you just want to correct this child, you can also be hurting that child for the future, right? That you might be creating trauma that they have to now deal with in the future, right? It's not an absolute. It just is case by case by case.
It didn't work. After 8 months, it crashed.
So now nobody is listening to her or understanding her. They think she's responsible for a marriage that crashed. And no one cares. They don't care about the truth. Okay? Not especially if they can relate in one shape, form, or format with a husband, with being the victim of husband snatchers. See, people who have been victims of husband snatcher in their own head, right? You now pull out dictionary, you want to explain to them that husband snatching is possible. You think they are listening to you?
People didn't hear much about it. Why?
I didn't hear.
We were both mature enough to understand that We came together. We knew that thing wasn't working. Instead of us to become enemies, we want to remain friends.
That's not why.
Go quietly.
That's not why.
Quietly. I didn't blame anybody else for doing it. He didn't blame anybody else for doing it. So I'm wondering, two people come together, it's not working, they go their separate ways. This one meets somebody, all of a sudden, it is that somebody that is the problem. Did anybody ever ask, what went wrong? Why would a man pick up his son?
They asked, the person's not doing shalaye. They asked her, I'll play that video here in a minute. They asked Doris. Okay, so today I've played video of Daniel. I'm playing Stella now again. I'll play Doris next. Okay, they asked her. She just knew how to, she knew how to answer media platforms, right?
And walk away from a marriage. Was there ever any...
the 90s brow trend.
They asked her. She also was not obsessed with being right. She said, make up your mind, whatever you think happens. Not only did she say it, she meant it. She hushed. In fact, the person that interviewed, I'll play it in a second. The person that interviewed her was actually very, very good. But she still managed to not say a whole lot. But she said enough that we can interpret, okay?
Until the man moved on with the other woman. Nobody ever brought up Stella's name. Then all of a sudden, oh, he's moved on with somebody else. It must be her. How?
The passion. She's a passionate person. That's why she's collecting wood. She's a passionate person. She's both ingenious and disingenuous. Oh my God. Oh wow. Me boyibo. Basically referring to cause and effect, a chain reaction. Doris emotionally exited her marriage a long time ago. Yeah. The residues, you never know if it's enough. If you're marrying, if you're getting together with somebody who is a divorcee, if they have drama, you might be accused of husband snatching. Please don't act surprised when it does happen. Okay? Please. Don't come and be telling us dictionary meaning. Please. Okay? Please. Very, very important. For your own good.
I'm still waiting for somebody to come with proof to say, oh, when they were still in a...
She's asking internet people to come with proof. She's unrealistic expectations everywhere.
Marriage, when they were still in a house, you came and did this. So the reason why I don't like talking about it is because there are some things that I will say to you and you will look at me and like, oh, wow.
Have you noticed that Stella doesn't like talking about it, but she will kind of talk about it? Well, enough times, but at least this is the second time, right? At length, without saying much, but saying a lot, right? Giving people ammunitions to attack her on the internet.
But I don't want to be derogatory. I don't want to toe the line that other people have by talking bad about people. I will never do that. But the story started coming.
As far as the audience, the public is concerned, it's either you are right or the other person is right. The general public think that it's either you're right or they're right. It's either you're wrong or they're wrong. You both cannot be right at the same time, even though we know in reality there can be two rights at the same time. There can be two things can be true at the same time, right? But when people are caught up in their emotions, particularly public emotions, like caught of public opinion, Auntie, if you're saying that you are free to go, are you saying the other person is wrong? That's the question they're asking.
I mean, at first I ignored it. I just kept quiet.
Welcome.
And then it was all over the place. Go, blogs and all of that. And I'm like, you know what? One day, I will tell my story. There's a reason why I'm respecting certain people, respecting different legal issues that are going on. So there might be some things that I might not hammer on.
Yeah.
But whenever you hear, oh, this person snatched this person, you ask the person. The person that they say is the original owner, what was the person doing when they were snatching the person from him or her? I don't get it.
She said, ask the person. She's asking all of now, with the public, to ask the person.
Don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
Are you going to ask the person?
He shock you.
No, right? I'm guessing the answer is no. We don't care. We don't care, right? Who's going to tell Auntie Stella that the public does not care? They've made up their mind what they thought happened off of the rumors. Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah. So I said, I'm not ugly. I'm not dumb. Of all the men in the world, I will not go and look for somebody else's own to say this is the one I want. If he did not come out of it to say, I want to be with you or you want to be with me, how do I come and grab some? Why? Am I that bad looking? Am I that old?
I really believe that Auntie Stella also is one of those pretty girls who really believe they could never do any wrong. She won't admit it. But the way she's moving, it's like she has no room to even ask, like, what did I do wrong? Let me try to understand. She doesn't seem to have any room for that. She truly believes that when she says, am I ugly? That's disingenuous. She knows she's not ugly. Oh,
so when you saw that this took a toll on your name.
Yes, it did. It's still
a huge toll.
Mm-hmm.
Because prior to this, you were Nollywood's sweetheart. Everybody loved Stella. Stella could do no wrong in anybody's eyes.
No, Stella was controversial.
No, you were not. Absolutely. If you were, I wasn't reading that. And suddenly, it seemed like you were in such a good place. From what I see, you're in a good place, and it's getting a hit. No matter what you did, it was Stella the husband snatcher. Did you ever feel like, okay, Daniel, I think it's time for us to just go our separate ways. I don't want this problem.
Not at all.
From even day one.
Not at all. You know why?
Why?
Because my conscience was clear.
No. Your conscience is not clear. You will never engage in interview this way if your conscience is clear. And as far as asking Daniel, she would rather go back and fight Daniel for not defending her enough. Okay? Indirectly. Okay? She just like, do you think you might want to say something at some point? And Daniel will be like, no, babe, I don't think we should say anything. I think we should just leave it be. You know, Daniel believes like, I'm getting popular as a director. Just leave it alone, babe. Don't let people have their whatever, you know. Daniel does not care. Okay? And she starts to feel some type of way. But she can't say it out in words. Even worse, she won't be able to say it out in words like this. I think you should defend me. That's not how it works. But she'll probably use another case entirely and say, I don't think you can, you know, I think you don't have my back. You know, why you always, it might be just argument between their close friends, and then Daniel is like, but babe, they're actually correct. And they'll be like, why are you always taking other people's sides? And Daniel's like, I always take people's sides. And she's actually saying public issues, but Daniel is like, it's just connected with this issue between their friends. And Daniel's like, what do you mean I always take people's side? Like, no, I just had a different opinion. It's like, no, it just seems like you always take people's side. So she'll never come out and say it out properly, right? So it's confusion everywhere because she's saying something else, he's interpreting something else. I'm just guessing. I'm speculating. But I can bet my monthly livelihood on it that's part of the reasons why their relationship broke down. That's why foundation. When you're starting any relationship, foundation is very, very, very important. Okay? Not the foundation you created before the wedding. No, that one is, squash that. You can just cancel that one. Okay? The foundation you build after you hit your first crisis. That foundation, because all of you will hit that first crisis. That foundation, going back and say we need to build the real foundation now. That foundation is very, very important. All of us, the foundation we build before the wedding, nothing. Okay, it's meaningless, it's useless for the most part. That's why people say, oh yeah, people just get married for the wrong. That's not the issue. The issue is this issue. When you hit that first crisis, what did you do about it? What was your interpretation about it? Okay, did you immediately start calling your husband a narcissist? Then he's going to show you a narcissist. It is what it is, right?
My conscience was clear.
Now, her conscience was not clear. Let me come to the chat real quick before we continue. Doris always deflects and never went into any details at all because she understood the assignment. She understood her power, right? It's easier said than done, but she did it so well. What was this interview shot? This one is from December 16, 2014. Doris didn't talk. Daniel never talked. Stella talked like a broken record for so long. These are the issues. She's not saying a lot, but she's saying a lot. And the only thing people are reading from that is her energy. The energy is all people were taking away from it. Condescension, sarcasm. I won't talk, but I will talk. It's all of you. She's basically saying it's all of you's fault. Like it's your fault. Right? And the public has no mercy when it comes to that. Okay. Doris has played the media game better than Stella. I guess Stella was on the defensive and Doris seen as the victim, so their characters were already crafted for them by the media. Exactly. This is all a movie in real life, right? And people get to pick who the actor is and who is the boss. Some of you may not understand what I just said. Who is the main character and who is the bad man, right? Yep, exactly. I think Mrs. Stella believes he was with the man that ended the first marriage. There's no such thing when there's crisis that's still from that first marriage. If that's why you have to be careful. If you're getting with a person that's not on good terms or haven't figured out how to be cordial with their ex, you are a husband snatcher effectively. It's not you that gets to decide that. When the people are looking from the outside, we'll call you a husband snatcher. Okay? So you need to make sure that that person is at least in a cordial place. Right? Because sometimes some people still think they're working on their marriage and he's moved on. As far as you're concerned, you moved on. You moved on with somebody that moved on. In fact, you don't understand anything. The first husband, she lost the first husband, unfortunately. So she has no experience. And the one in the middle, is that a marriage? 8 months? Forget that thing. She keep mentioning that because that's the last thing she can reflect on as the best. No, she said friendship. It was best friendship. No. She knew nothing about real life over a period of time when it comes to marriage. She has no idea what marriage looks like long term, being able to be on the other side of 5, 7, 10 years. That is a big deal. Okay? That's a big deal. So first marriage, she does not agree with the fact that people think she scattered Daniel's first marriage. Yes, that's why she's defensive. She's thinking it's tampering with her insecurity. That's why she's defensive, and that's making things worse. And she's probably and that guy was probably on the collecting, receiving side of all of that goes bars at home. And that guy will probably, you know him now, he will just exit at some point. He'll just run away at some point. I think Stella feels the need to talk because she's the one facing major backlash, but I feel like she keeps holding back because Daniel and Doris never wanted to speak. She's trying to hold back. She's doing a terrible job at it. Yeah. I know she's trying to, but the Chalaye is giving her so much ammunition to attack her.
Whatever issues a man has with his wife or whatever, when they deal with it, they deal with it. I don't come into it. And once you're done,
you didn't think you came into it,
and you're ready to move on, and you want to move on with me, and I want a life with you. It's me and you. I don't care what anybody else is thinking or saying. People have said this. It hurt because of the impression people try to create. Yes. But I looked at myself and I asked myself,
I felt like I hated my apartment.
Who is going to tell Auntie Stella that it's not just me and you?
Stop the cap.
Who is going to tell her that it's not just me and you? Who's going to tell her? It's not just me and you. It is kind of, sort of, but context matters, okay? When you have this amount of energy coming from the outside, particularly about the foundation of your marriage, people's insecurities will be provoked. Then it's no longer just me and you. Okay? Now, it's possible to make it me and you, but you have to be extremely good at not getting triggered by the public. You can't be like, well, the public has made my matters their matters, now I'll be doing clapback. You can't do that. You're giving up ammunitions. You're telling on yourself, not that you're lying, but that you feel insecurity. And if you feel insecure, that's Ogiri Lanu. That's when Yoruba people say Ogiri Lanu. Alangba we enter streets. They would drag you. Oh my God. They would drag you. Oh Lord. We haven't seen the end of it, by the way. Let's see. I think, okay, we already addressed that. I also don't think she snatched Mr. Daniel and the child. Yeah, I don't think so too. I believe her. But I think she has questions, right? I think there were residues. Well, we know for a fact there were residues from that last marriage that were toxic in nature, and they were not palatable. They were like the old baby custody thing, right? She was in the middle of that, and she's the most popular among them all, right? She had no power to control any situation. The only power she had is not to talk so much. You always have power. The question is that, do you think it's about speaking up, speak up, so everybody can be... No. Oftentimes it's not. Sometimes it is. Most times it's not. Okay? She thinks... So a part of her... she's an activist. She tends to be... She moves in the form of activism in everything. But she doesn't realize that she might hurt herself in that process. She reminds me of Showore. That's what she reminds me of. Possibly coming from an authentic place, but the world does not care. They don't care. They don't care. She became the easy target for everyone to attack, as she was karma. Yeah. As much as people have to love to blame Stella, I personally believe she did not break that marriage. Even the marriage had officially ended, either or emotionally ended before Stella. That's the real meaning of you can't. There's no such thing. How do I say it? There's no such thing as husband snatching, right? Right? In reality, like on paper, right? But there is, once a few people are pointing fingers at you, there's a reason. There's something that's making them say that. And if you're having a hard time acknowledge that, you will engage shalaye when it's not necessary, and you just collect. Yeah. Mo Fresh says, but what matters is that people have already made up their minds regardless. Everything else, story. People have made up their mind. Yep.
But I looked at myself and I asked myself, Stella, in your heart, do you believe you did anything bad? If my answer...
If you accuse me of something I didn't do, I wouldn't need to be like, Stella, did you do anything? I would simply be disconnected from what you're talking about. I'll be like, what do you mean? Huh? What? I'm confused. What are you talking about? So, if I have to go in front of me and say, Stella, did you really do this thing? This thing, they pain. They say, as if they pain them. If something is paining, it's because you can relate somehow, some way now. I didn't say you are guilty. I'm just saying somehow you can relate. Maybe it's a small insecurity somewhere. Somehow you can relate. If you can't acknowledge that, you will continue to collect. Yeah, because you'll be arguing with your destiny. Jesus. Who's going to tell Auntie Stella? Let's continue.
That is no. Then, my dear, there is no looking back. Because I'm not a kid. For me to make a decision and say, yes, I want to be with this person. If I marry 10, it concerns you. That's what I used to
When
do.
people decide they want to be with a person, precisely what they are becoming, man and woman, is a kid. For the most part, they fall in love. Okay? They disengage from all types of what you might consider logic. Okay? Let's be logical about it. Nibo, Gojo, it was to fall in love. We don't in love. You're already in paradise, as far as you're concerned, right? No, that's what you become. So sometimes you see the truth in front of you and you'll be in denial about it. What do we mean when we say people are in denial? It's not that they want to lie. It's because they're in denial. Like, not deliberately in denial. They just can't see what they can't see.
If I have 50 husbands,
I wanted to drop that in there.
Does it change my work?
She keep talking about this 50 husbands.
Enjoy my work. Enjoy it. It's not about what I do in my bedroom that's your issue.
Nah, bro, you don't have the right to tell us that. Oh my God, she doesn't have the right to tell us like, I do my work, just act, just enjoy it. No, I think somebody needs to tell her, no, Stella, wake up. No, you don't have that right. Yeah, it's been taken away from you the moment you decide to sell movies to the public. And it gets worse when you engage shalaye. without saying anything, without bringing any facts to the table, just in circles and circles and circles and circles around nothing. Then you give people room to make up their mind, to create the scenario for you, and they will. I guarantee you, they will.
Because you don't really know what happens in people's bedrooms. You don't know what happens in marriages. You don't.
We know what happened in people's bedroom. It's Kirewa. We know what is happening in this bedroom. Stop the cap. Come on, Stella. This is not helping. Oh my God.
Stop the cap.
We know what is happening in those bedrooms now. Who's gonna test Stella? Oh, by the way, this is not about Stella or Daniel. It's about you. I'm just spelling out the reality. A lot of times you're in denial, you're delusional because you're caught up in your feelings, your emotions. You're not abnormal, okay? I just want you to raise up your antenna small. Maybe you can catch some of this stuff when it's happening in real life. It will still happen. You're a human being, okay? But when you're aware, when you're self-aware, half the battle is won. Okay, you win, because most people cannot be self-aware. They struggle hard time because they get caught up in their own emotions. Okay. Final MK says, some comments on Obodo Yibo TV got me thinking, do women have a monopoly on children? As women tend to say, my children. Are you ready for that conversation? I did have that conversation with my wife today. Are you ready for that conversation? No, I don't think women are ready for that conversation. I don't think so. But one day we'll get there. You know, I don't think they there's the reality of the motherly connection. There's the reality of actual reality. A lot of women actually weaponize their children. I don't think that's news at this point, right? A lot of women want to start afresh when they divorce, and they run across state lines rather. They run across state lines because they want a new fresh, and they really authentically feel like this guy has no rights. Are you ready for that conversation? We'll get there when we get there. Okay, we'll get there. I hear you fine, MK. Let's continue.
I don't know why people like us we're very weary of people knowing our business.
Yeah.
You don't know how many marriages are suffering in silence. The issue of domestic violence.
So you are the one that will come and fix it. That's how the public will interpret it when you say that.
We're very weary of people knowing our business.
Yeah.
You don't know how many marriages are suffering in silence.
See, there's something she was saying before she got to that point. I heard that part, and what I picked up was like, what do you mean? So that means you should come and snatch husbands, right? But if you go back a little bit, just context, right? But who has time for that? This is something that somebody needs to explain to people who have clout. Nobody has time for context. I'm sorry. I know it's terrible, but they don't. They're just looking for the next piece of entertainment. That piece of entertainment might just be all they need for their own mental health that day. It's unfair, I know. Welcome to the real world.
The issue of domestic violence that I'm fighting about, now, it's part of it. There are marriages that they will tell themselves, especially celebrities, we suffer from that. You're in a marriage, and because you're worried about the press, the media, you stay in.
No, you have to be worried about the press, auntie.
You just stay in, you act, you play for the camera, you act like everything is okay, then you get home and everything.
It's not acting, it's understanding your power. It's identifying your power and make sure you move accordingly. Okay? It's not acting. Okay? Somebody might say you're acting, what's the other word they always use? You're pandering. They might say you're kissing up because they don't understand what's going on. They're not privy to that. Now, if you're not coming from a place of power, if you're not shooting all the way from a place of power, if you're not shooting from the hip, you'll fall apart. She's right about that. Like, it's too much energy. You have to satisfy these millions of monitoring spirits. But when you're a superstar like yourself, when you are a person that has responsibility like a man, you need to engage your power. Stop crying, like AB just said, over spilled milk. You need to see what is in front of you and say, oh, they're holding me accountable because I am a powerful person. Well, let me learn what they're seeing so I can navigate. As opposed to like, no, it's all their fault. It's women's fault. Let me just hand over my problems to the rest of the world. It is not my problem, it is their problem. Well, if you're saying that, you better mean it. That's all I'm saying.
Everything is hell. Because you know that the moment you take that bold step and walk away, the backlash will be so bad. But then you now ask.
Yeah, these are excuses. These are excuses. Okay, let me run through some more timelines. Okay, these are excuses. Who's gonna tell Auntie Stella? I don't know. Who's gonna tell Auntie Stella? Oh, so that was December 16, 2014. Okay, the rest of it is not. They're not exactly videos. On January 2000 and let me see here. Let's do some more timelines here. Okay. On January 2000 and let's see. On January 2015, as published on BellaNiger.com, Doris Simeon reunites. Okay, reunited. So they came into Yankee. 4 years later, she reunited with her son after 4 years apart. That was 4 years. The way people are calculating, the way their brain is calculating it is 15 years. Okay, not intentionally. The way the mind is calculating it is, you took my child away for 15 years. That's not the reality. How do I know that? Because of the way they are reacting. The reality was it was 4 years, and 4 years when you move into a new nation and you're trying to settle down is nothing. Does that give them the right to take the baby away? No, it doesn't. But does that give us the right to determine that that was the truth? We don't know what happened there. Okay? We don't know what happened there. All right. Now, on April 16th, 2015, we're doing a little bit more timeline. Okay. Let's see. April 15, 2015. Something about keeping your son away from your ex. I think there's a video here that we should play. I think Daniel is going to talk one more time. Let's do that, shall we? Daniel is going to talk one more time. He's going to talk about the idea. They asked him. Humble Prince asked him directly. Shout out to Humble Prince. That's my guy. Let's see.
Is domestic abuse because you guys.
Shout out to Humble Prince. It's also an Akure boy like myself. Akure people were doing it. I know. I need to find out what. But Ben, what do you mean by Ondo? Did you mean Akure? Because I have to start questioning everything. Okay, so Humble Prince is an Akure boy.
Married. People also said that is domestic abuse.
Let's go back.
Let's just get by this real quick. The last time Stella was here, fantastic.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
People wanted to know, are you guys together? She addressed that. Now, other questions have come up, and this is up to you to answer. Now, people want to know, what's the status of you guys? Are you married? People also said that it's domestic abuse because you guys are keeping your son away from your ex. How do you want to address that? I'll give you the floor.
Let's give them the floor.
Humble Prince.
Yeah.
Like I said before, people have a right to express their thoughts and opinions however they want to express it.
Exactly.
Or what happens within the four walls of my home should stay there.
Exactly.
I'm a filmmaker, right? I make films, I do TV commercials, I do music videos, I write, I create music. I do all that work, let people see and enjoy that part of me. I don't come into their homes to ask what they're doing now. But so whatever I choose to do with myself, I believe is my business. So let people keep talking. If they want to focus on that part of me, there's money to be made out there. There are things to be done. My son is going to go to college. I have to.
Amen.
So there are things
see deflection, though. Are you hearing deflection?
I'll let you boy.
Dude, man, see, I'm too busy doing a million things to focus on what
I like it. I don't know what you're saying.
Are right now about my personal life. When they have that information, what will they now do? Will they now have money in their account? Right. Will their beard grow longer? Or will their eyelashes grow longer? Or will their black hair turn to blonde?
Cap.
I don't know. For me,
stop right there. If you continue, it becomes shalaye.
Private life is my private life. Let me
I could respect that, and I was just doing my my due justice as a radio host, so people can't say, "Oh, I'm kissing up. I didn't ask you the question." So I've asked the tough questions. Y'all leave me alone. And people, let me say something, man. People come for me too. Why don't I put pictures of my wife on Facebook? She doesn't want her pictures on Facebook, and she's not on Facebook. Or what's my relationship status? And people asking, I'm like,
cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right, so let's do this. Let's move on to the next one on the timeline. On April 10, 2016, this is almost a year later, they asked Doris. This was a question to Doris, okay? This was reported on one of the websites. They asked her, how often do you see your son? Are you with him now? Okay? And our answer was, no, I'm not. Okay? And then they said, would you accept your ex-husband if he comes begging? She said, no, I won't. All I want is my son. Yes, that was Mr. Daniel. Yes, that was Daniel. All right. Yes, that's Daniel right there. He said, Mr. Daniel. No, I don't. Do you have your own? He said, no, I won't. All I want is my son. So the person asked, do you have your son now? She said, no, I don't. Then they asked, so what do you hope to do about that? She said, well, we are still in court. This was, remember, April 10, 2016. She said, well, we're still in court, so I don't say much about it. All right. In fact, while we're talking about that, why don't I bring this auntie to the stage? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. 1 second. Let me bring Auntie Doris to the stage because she's going to tell us a little bit about what she thinks about this whole saga. Instead of us speculating what we think is truth and all that kind of stuff, I think it's better that we hear from the horse's mouth. Right? Don't you think? I think it's better that we hear. Let me see here. Almost there. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So. All right. That's beautiful, Doris Simeon. This guy, Omojulo Soja, earlier. I haven't seen the third wife, so I don't know what she looks like. Anyway, so I'm answering so this is Doris Simeon. They were asking out this question. She said, so what do you hope to do about that? She said, well, we're still in court, so I don't say much about it. Are you both still in touch? In touch. Are you both still in touch? Right? The person asked. She says, we are in court. Let both parties be for now. This was April 10, 2016. Okay. And then the person asked, what about Stella? I am not Stella's friend. She and I don't talk. We've never worked together before. So we are not friends. Okay, people, there's a few videos and a few comments that I saw on Instagram yesterday where people basically were insinuating at least that they were friends, they were close, they were colleagues, and so this is Doris Simeon saying we're not friends, okay? And no, and she said we are not friends. I don't have any business with her, okay? All right, so Doris Simeon, the Papa Jasco, let me see, in the recent chat, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't have any form of relationship with Stella. She is not my rival. That's another statement from her. Okay. Here's another one. Yep, same one. She's not my rival. I am not Stella's friend. She and I don't talk. We've never worked together before. So we are not friends. Okay. Read that already. Let's see here. They ask her, so in this video we're about to watch right now, they ask her what was let me see. Okay, so let's just go ahead and watch that video, shall we? And then we'll continue from that. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's continue. There you go.
Good to see you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
It's been how many years now in Hollywood?
17.
Only.
Yeah, only 17.
Just 17.
Really?
Just. You kicked off with Yoruba.
No, actually, I kicked off with Papa Jasco and Company.
Yes.
I did some few scenes with Papa Jasco as the secretary for a while, and then from there into Yoruba movie industry.
Well, what prompted that?
I was actually on the set of the Papa Jasco when
stand, but it really got to you.
All right, so I had to jump to where the conversation became what we needed to learn about. She said, Stella mentioned that they were friends, I'm guessing friendly, to discuss Doris' son. Yeah, that's what she meant. And to me, that was clear. Let's continue.
Strong enough to withhold or withstand, but it really got to you.
No, I want you to watch how that guy asked the question, okay? These guys are trained for that, hopefully, right?
From the other party, oh, well, I'm good.
And what's that one thing? What's that one thing that you thought you were strong enough to withhold or withstand, but it really got to you?
Did he really get to me?
Or it took you by surprise? You reacted differently to it?
I don't think I have in any way. Maybe the case of my son.
Okay.
And, you know.
Oh, that's David.
Divorce, yeah.
He's going to be, I think, 9?
Yes.
April 4th?
4, yeah. Wow.
Me and him are... No, I'm April 2nd. So
oh, okay. Oh, no wonder. So you keep tab
we can keep tab on that. 9 years, he's which means you're preparing
he's 15 years old now.
Celebration now. He's with his father.
Yeah. So when was this published, right?
How has that been for you, managing that relationship?
Well, he's the father of my son, no doubt, and I talk to my son. Maybe not the way I want to. I actually, a mother would not want a child to go off this thing.
She said maybe not the way I want to, right? There are two different types of meanings for that. Okay, I'll let you make which meaning you have, right? There's worst case scenario and there's best case scenario. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that these people are blocking me from talking to my child, right? They don't let me talk to my child, right? I only talk to my child once in a while. That's the worst case scenario of how to interpret that. The best case scenario is that I talk to my child, you know, not the way I want to, because obviously distance. I would like to be next to my child. That's the best case scenario, right? I'll let you pick which one you want to do, which one you want to go with.
But I would say more than that.
You sure you don't want to say more than that?
She said, I won't say more than that. She had an intention to stop talking about it. Now, this guy is very good, right? But she had an intention. She's prepared. Listen, emotional intelligence is not stuff that you just, voila, you're doing it. No, oftentimes you have to prepare for it. You have to assume that this is a very dangerous world. People don't always intend to hurt you. They will effectively still hurt you. So you have to prepare. Especially if you already know that this zone you're going into, people have their own different agendas for whatever reason. Stella is not properly prepared. This auntie right here is better prepared. Maybe it's a personality thing. Maybe she's just good at that.
Is 2013 the divorce? You obviously...
You notice that he did not listen to... I wouldn't want to talk much more than that, right? He says... You don't want to talk about waiting, I beg. But he said that inside.
For this thing, but I would say more than that.
I won't say more than that.
You sure you don't want to say more than that? Is 2013 the divorce? You obviously, based on articles and what was in the news, you've moved past that, and good for you. Very good for you. It's
edification.
You read the news, you know that being married in this industry is quite a task, and being able to pick yourself up and move on is even more difficult.
Yeah.
But
he's edifying her and being able to move forward. He has his intentions, okay? He knows what he's doing. Now, this guy knows what he's doing. No. He's like, Stella knows what he's doing. No, she does not know what she is doing. That's part of the problems. Daniel knows what he's doing. No, because they're hurting people does not mean they know what they're doing. This guy knows what he's doing. He edified her first. When I ask you to do that in your relationship, you push back. You say, let's call a spade a spade. You just want to call out what's wrong. They won't hear you. You're not getting it. They won't hear you. Okay? Not because they don't want to hear you. They can't hear you because they already feel like they are wrong. When people feel wrong, they are willing to assume right, including hurting you in that process if they have to do that. So they don't care. No one cares. No one cares about anything outside of their feelings. So edifying people make them feel better. Make them feel better than the actual reality. Who wins when you do that? You need to read the book, How to Win and Influence Friends by Dale Carnegie.
Been able to manage that. But how's your relationship been with, will I call it an extended part of your family, talking about Stella Damascus? How has that been with both of you now?
I do tell them, it all depends on me if I want to talk about it, but I say to a lot of people and even to my family that, look, the Bible even says all things are passed away.
Yes.
So I will not depend or rely or keep agonizing on the past and not focus on my future, because I have a son to look after. And that is also looking at up to me. So I won't want anything.
I mean, the reason I'm
asking, my
spirit. The reason I'm actually asking is a lot of people are your fans. They look up to you. A lot of people are going through what you've been through, and sometimes sharing these experiences could be an inspiration to someone watching. And you have managed it so well, so maturely. The media will be the media, you know, but somehow you've transcended and you've gone beyond that. So I just wanted to know how you've been able to cope with the fact that your son is not here. Your ex-husband is with a woman who is in the same industry, more or less like a colleague, and you have somehow got your stuff together. You've set up a foundation. You're doing great things. What has been that anchor that has kept you on the right path?
I would say maybe first my upbringing. And from a Christian home, you had to be prayerful and be strong. And being a woman.
Yeah. By default, women are just strong.
we are way stronger than the men when it comes to things like this. And I say to people out there that are going through same difficult times like this, don't dwell in your past. Don't dwell in your pain. Don't dwell in whatever it is that the mistake you have made behind. It's better, yeah, fine, cry. I say to people, cry, bring it out, let it just go. Let it out, but don't dwell on it, because if you dwell on it, it kills faster than you trying to, you know. So it's better for you to just think about what is that thing that you did wrong, try to amend it, try to, you know, move on and think ahead, especially when children are involved. You need to make them see that you're strong for them and for other children out there and for other people that are going through that, so that they can learn from, you know, all those things that you've been going through, and then you just push it aside. It's not that it's easy. It's not easy.
Is that is not easy part that I want to hear?
It's easier said than done.
It's not, no, it's not easy. I'm human, for heaven's sake. It's not easy, but that's why I said you cry, let it out, but don't.
And when did you stop crying?
Don't dwell.
See question.
I would say, yeah,
I
cried for like, sometimes I still think about it and I cry only because of my son. I cry in my closet and all. I pray. And sometimes I just decide, rather than crying, let me just talk to God.
And what does God say?
I'm not a prophet though. Let me just talk to God and say my mind. I'm sure He's listening and He's always there for me, because for me to wake up every morning then is keeping me for something. Because if I had been dead, then I'm done with whatever it is I'm on earth to come to.
Fantastic. So now let's move forward. I do not know or not know whether there have been other people in the picture, in the scene. Obviously, you're an attractive woman, you're an accomplished woman, you're a talented woman. And there's no reason why any right-thinking man would not want to gravitate towards you. When you shut a lot of people or emotions out, you also shut the ability to love. Have you been able to find that ability to love somebody else again?
I didn't stop loving.
Hey, see answer. See answer.
No, I'm talking about actually not the song.
See dodgy.
Man part.
She knows.
She knows. Get married and move on one of these days. But
yeah. You know, I didn't stop loving. Yeah.
But have you been loving somebody else?
I'm in a relationship actually.
Okay.
Eat that.
No.
But you...
It's my private life.
Is it your private life now because of what happened in the past?
I guess so.
You just want to keep everybody out?
Yes.
And is your partner sharing this same...
Yes.
Does he have a history as well? Has he been in a relationship before? Or are you...
Every single person I've been in
or a marriage before?
Or the other. I won't say
How
more
do you
than
explain
that.
this to David?
He's good.
He's going to be nice.
He's good.
How does he see you, and how does he see Stella? How does he see his dad? How do you three explain what is going on to him?
Like they will say, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Oh, he hasn't been asking
Fantastic answer. Fantastic answer.
Come on, you need to talk.
What do you all want to do? You want to speculate. She's like, when we get there, we will cross it. Majority of people just want to they think they're wiser than that. You don't know what you don't know until you're there.
Doris, let's be. The thing about Robin.
It's like you, me and you. I beg. I know what you're trying to do there. Get out of here, man. She did so well, right? Even the smile on her face, even the demeanor, right? It's hard. It's no wonder she's now the beloved. It's not that she said the absolute correct thing. She said nothing. It's the energy. She said nothing. They still managed to do that in 10 minutes. And there's a part 2 to this video where they talked about everything else, like the career and stuff like that. Right? You don't get to tell people not to ask you questions. They will ask you questions. You are responsible. You're accountable when you have a platform. You're responsible for how you answer. That's how it works. The same thing is true in any form of collaborative efforts between human beings. If you understand this, you will move better in personal relationships. You will move better in romantic relationship. You will stop being so obsessed with being right.
You're right.
You will focus on making sure the people you're interacting with, that they are edified. That guy demonstrated it. He was able to get more out of her just by edifying her. You pause, like you don't want to say waiting. Okay, you know you did so well, you did it like that. And then she said a little bit more. And it was still a masterpiece that we can use to extract these lessons today.
We like to go where nobody wants to go. This new person, how much joy has he brought to your life so far?
A whole lot, I would say.
You notice she didn't get defensive with that question. You know, what Stella would have been like, I said, I don't want to talk about it. Or to show like, I don't owe these people answers. I don't owe anybody answers who occupy the conversation. She just gave you an answer. What do you want to hear? Okay, a whole lot. Joy. Eat that up. Go and deal with that. Right?
Did you say he's better than Daniel, your ex?
See question.
A whole lot, I would say.
Would you say he's better than Daniel, your ex?
Obviously, if he's not, I won't be there.
Really?
Now.
Oh, stray bullet hit Daniel really quickly right there. That's stray bullet. Oh my God. But I thought that was masterpiece. I thought when I saw that, I was like, you know what? We have to come back one more time and talk about Stella, because there's some real lessons here at the end of the day. You know, but let's get through some of the timeline. So that video you just saw was published on I'll tell you, I need to tell you that was published on March 19, 2017. Yes, it's a while back, right? Now after that, the only thing I found was April 4, 19. Okay, actress Stella Damascus celebrates stepson Doris Simeon's son on his birthday. I think there's actually let me see. There's actually pictures of that. Let me see if I can show you those pictures. What was it again? The date is April 4, 2019. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can cover it today, since I don't want to come back to the story again if I don't have to. April 4th, 2019. There you go. I found it. Yeah, let me show you some of this picture. Okay, so this was the birthday. Okay, and this is Stella Damascus posted a picture with the boy. This is a while back. This was when it was 11. This is Stella saying, I can't believe this young man is 11 years old. Our time flies. I love you too much, boo boo. Words cannot describe how much you mean to me and all who love you. Each time I look at you, I see greatness and success all around you. There's nothing you cannot do and achieve. You're the best in everything you do in school and everywhere you go. You're a shining star, David. When a marriage break up, like Stella's marriage that just broke up, it's not just breaking up with Daniel. That's gonna affect their relationship as well. Okay. Oh, I didn't show the picture. You guys did not see anything. Everybody's on listening mode now. Let me show you. This is the picture. Okay. For those that will be listening later on tomorrow morning. That's the picture of her with him with his mother rather, and then him with the stepmother, ex-stepmother, and the father. Anyway, make we continue. September 6, 2020, veteran actress Stella Damascus and husband no longer following each other. This was the first time they found out. It's been 3 years. I didn't realize. I thought it was less than a year. If you watched my first video on this, you'll notice I said less than a year ago. It's been 3 years. People monitor this stuff. That's why they call them monitoring spirits, right? They're no longer following each other on IG as rumors swell over marriage collapse. On September 6, 2020, GHGossip.com published an article, God has fought your battle. This is when the karma story started. Fans tell Doris Simeon as Stella Damascus and Daniel Ademinokon's marriage reportedly crashes. And then the same website, GHGossip.com, this is karma. Fans express happiness after terrible, so terrible. It's just bad. Like, why? Express happiness after Stella Damascus' marriage with Daniel Ademinoko reportedly crashes. There's a couple more. We'll run through all of them. We'll run through all of them. Just wanted to make sure we cover. We're rounding up right now. Okay. Toby says, I think it's a personality thing with her. She's always moved smart. Yeah, I see some personality in there. And even if there's any kind of media coaching there, so it's easier for certain types of personality than others. Some people, they just can't disengage from their obsession with being right. Okay, it's easier said than done. Okay. All right. So on March 14, 2021, same GHGossip.com, they seem obsessed with this story. Oh wow. On 2021, this was 2 years ago, Mother's Day. Let me find that actual post. This was about Mother's Day, okay? And basically, I think they had broken apart at that time, and Daniel decided to say something on Mother's Day. What do you think he said on Mother's Day? Oh, Lord. He said, this is a whole different animal. Daniel Ademinoko ignores ex-wives Doris Simeon and Stella Damascus in Mother's Day post. What did he say? He said, let me see, here's a quote here somewhere. This is a whole different animal. Keep grinding. Trust God. Have a spectacular Sunday and blessed week ahead. Gentlemen, if you have history with your ex, you are better off being in a position. Okay. Let me show you. Sorry. You're better off being in a position. That's the quote right there. You're better off being in a position where you are able to say Happy Mother's Day to the mother of your kids. It's a place of power. Okay. If you manage to get into that space where you're okay with doing that, you've demonstrated that you're a man. Okay. Now, if you haven't done that, it doesn't mean you're not a man, but clearly, Okudiakato. And you're not a weak man for saying Happy Mother's Day to the mother of your kids. You're not. Okay? But for what we can see in this post, what can you infer from this post? It says, on Mother's Day, he said, this is a whole different animal. Keep grinding. Trust God. Have a spectacular Sunday and a blessed week ahead. What can you get out of this? Can anybody go before I say my mind about that? I do think something about that. I want to know what you think about that. Yeah. Let's see. Stella Damascus on Mother's Day post. Yeah. Oh, that was me. Okay, that was me. All right. What would you say about that kind of person that would do that? There's one word that comes to mind. It starts with a P. I'm giving you a cheat sheet right now. Okay. I'm giving you the cheat sheet right now. These are the timelines. Okay. All right. So there's a post here. There's a video here. You know, we've been saying, you thought that was the end of Stella. You would think, right, that Stella would not say anything further. right after that, you will think you're right. On October 31st, 2022, she did a post. October 31st, 2022. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Found it. It's she did a video. Let me see. Can I find it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, something about opening up about, maybe not directly. Let me share this with you guys so you guys can see. MOP, I don't tell you, say this man not that word. No, not that word. The word that came to mind is petty. Not that word. It's petty. Petty men will have a hard time keeping a marriage together. It's tough. It's difficult. Okay, we're all petty to a certain extent, but when you will go on the internet and be petty like that, that's giving. That's saying a lot. Okay, but anyway, let's see here. Let's close this. There you go. Actually, let me close that as well. Okay, so this is Stella. Fans remind Stella Damascus of her past marriage. This was published October 31st, 2022 on Within Nigeria. Of her past marriage saga with Doris Simeon following new video about ex-husband. So she was, I think in this particular video, she was talking from the sides of her mouth. And she probably was talking, be away. And she probably got. Let me play the video. Hopefully it plays. Let me see.
There's a tendency
it does.
that you see what you want to see. You hear what you want to hear. There are red flags in front of you, but you're choosing not to see it, because I'm seeing that you say, before we start this relationship, pray about it. Let me pray about it. And both of you had dreams, and the dreams, they came in a different way, but it was the same thing. Darling, I've had experiences with dreams and with visions that I choose how I want to interpret it to suit what I want, to give me the answers that I want. It's happened to me. I thought this person was my soulmate. I thought this person he does the same things that I do. We're both intelligent. We both love people's minds. We're both this. We're both that. Everything is falling into place. We're so similar. We have the same kind of visions. We talk the same. We do the same. We understand the same. Same. Last.
You chop breakfast.
It don't cost. Everybody will still chop breakfast. Let's be eating lunch and dinner. Let's not eat breakfast. Okay? So when you see
this is the first time she sounds very close to accountability.
See anything that you feel?
No, it's not. No. Stop the cat. Now she's talking about red flags. Red flags. How did she get to red flags? Oh God. I was about to say she's holding herself accountable for a second there, and then she said red flag. It's somebody else's fault, not mine. That person was evil. You can't learn from that angle. It's very hard to learn from that angle. If it's everybody else's fault and not yours, it's very hard. It's hard to learn from that angle. Oh my God. Anyway, that was October 31st. 2022. Okay, so now we're up to speed. Okay, we're up to speed. Nah. We're up to speed. So July 31st. What's the story we've been bringing? We did it in about 2.5 hours, a little bit over. I'm very delighted to have done it in that amount of time. Okay. October 31st. What did she do? Auntie Stella came on Teju's platform, and she decided that she decided she's going to tell a little bit of her story about how she chopped breakfast by way of YouTube. Ugao. Wala wa. I'm going to play just that short clip for you. That's basically what we've been talking about all day long. And then we'll take it from there.
We are not. You couldn't have
I just seen her like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
It could have only been after he left that you now looked and she now looked. I was like, wait, we are not enemies here.
So it wasn't when he left that we became friends.
Okay.
He was still there when we were cool. When I say friends, it's not as if we go out to lunch dates or go shopping together. But you know how you're cool with someone because she's an intelligent, beautiful woman. She's very talented. She doesn't have the impressions out there are crazy because the person that I got to know, even over the phone, was someone totally different from the impression that was created in the first place. You know.
I think that sounds accurate to me. The impression she knew was the rumors. See, you make up a character in your head. If everybody is talking about Doris Simeon and people are dragging you as a husband snatcher, you also will make up a character in your head. And you've never really met this person, right? So everything she's saying here sounds like the truth to me. I don't know if it's the truth, but it sounds accurate to me.
So we would talk, especially about the boy.
They would talk about the boy. Now, Teju is like, wait, tell me the part where you're gossiping about the ex-man.
Never about, the man. It was about the child. What's best for him? What's going on with school? Or he's coming to you, or he's coming to me. Or what do we do for him? Or he needs...
This is what she meant by friendship. This is what she meant by friendship. It makes sense to me. And she didn't say friends, she said we're not enemies. Right?
This, he needs that. How do we do it? Just to make sure that he was okay. So that's how it all started. Just to make sure there was peace, everybody was fine for his sake. Because you don't want to start pulling him and making him have animosity towards any party involved, So, but after the whole thing ended and he became my ex, yeah. We did. Yeah, we did.
You will get to the part of the story.
Why didn't you tell me that it was like this? Like you didn't ask.
And the thing is, I'm not here to apportion blame to say, oh, he did this. I would never do that. Okay. I pride myself in being a respectful person. A lot of things were said about me on YouTube because that's how I found out that my marriage had ended on YouTube. Yeah, I didn't know that my marriage had ended. Yeah.
Let's just stop here for a minute. What do you mean you didn't know your marriage had ended? You were just browsing YouTube. You were looking for Beyonce videos, and then you saw. Come on.
This is how she found out.
The man in question traveled, and was supposed to be away for a while, and was supposed to come back.
Premium.
And a few days after the man traveled, my phone was buzzing.
Jesus Christ.
I received messages from people saying, what's going on? Are you okay? Why didn't you tell me that there was something wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Then I'm like, what are all these links they are sending me? And I'm like, Roman, Isabel, let's go. Something's up. Let's put YouTube for me. And I'm there typing my name. And before I'm done typing my name, videos just start coming up. Stella's dead marriage crashes. Karma is a bitch. There's that. There's Stella in this, that. I'm like, wait, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, stop the cap. You weren't surprised. Again, this is a story, a narrative that's been coming with you for 10 years, but you've addressed it wrongly. Yeah. This is real life. Oh, wala. Toby says, do you think he was trying to ignore the mother's existence like they are irrelevant? It's, listen, this guy, I don't know, he didn't give us much to work with, but he's petty. Let's keep it, people can be petty. Petty can be as simple as petty, especially if you've collected, we don't know what kind of shege that Stella has shown him in recent times. We don't know, right? We know a little bit about the shege that he collected from Doris. Clearly he wants no part of that. We also know that it's a hopeless romantic, meaning he will get caught up in his emotions. That's a double-edged sword too, right? The way you engage something emotionally is how you tend to disengage and you tag onto something else. It's still you. It's still who you are as a person. It's your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go, or everything you. It's the same way you move. It's the same when you see people engage religion a certain way. If you go and look at them in their personality, it goes down to a personality thing. Okay, all right. And it could also be social construct. It depends on how you were raised, culture, things like that, right? But when I can see you in the same culture and you're different from this person, it's ultimately you. Doesn't mean it's your fault. but it's how you respond to crisis. Okay. How can you don't get notification anymore? Latu, it's probably because you've been watching everybody else and not our show. That's why. There's only so much room in the notification boxes. I'm going live at the same time with everybody else, but welcome. Good to see you, Latu. Shout out to you. All right. So this is what broke out in the last 2 days. This is why we covered this,
And I called, we had a conversation, and even at that time, I still didn't know that anything.
You didn't have a conversation. It probably was an argument.
Like that had happened until I got the final call to say,
not coming back.
Not coming back. This is, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. I don't want to go into food.
I'm feeling like the premium breakfast. Now your mate, right? Premium breakfast, Loju Bali, that's gotta be tough. Come on, right? Both friends said they must have been having issues inside the marriage before he walked out on Stella. Of course. I'm sure she saw it coming, but preferred to bring out a narrative of ignorance. No, I think she meant the divorce part of it. Like, when you file in court, it becomes public records, and when it becomes like, oh, divorce, it becomes public record. I don't think she was trying to be ignorant. I think she's specifically saying that the announcement, I found out, oh, is that it? I think that's possible, But no, she can't cap that she didn't know that something like it was that bad. Like, how men will quote the statistics that 70% of divorces are initiated by women. That's actual stats, right? But they quote that and they're like, yeah, but you're talking about when they complete the paperwork. What about everything that happened before they actually fill out the paperwork at the court, right? It's the same thing, So she might be capping a little bit, right? But I understand it's possible to narrate it like that. Like, I found out on the internet. No matter how much you're expecting, it is still shocking. Maybe you're hopeful that you're working on it.
Details that you don't do this to me. I've never talked about this or mentioned this, So
this point, she's nervous. She's actually nervous at this point in time. If you look at the body language, okay, it's the first time she will kind of engage anything close to truth about her relationship, but she's also setting herself free at the same time. Like, once it's out there, right? I don't have to worry about hodling it or anything like that. You might say maybe because she doesn't have control anyway. That's true too. Maybe she realized that I don't really have control of this. Let me just tell it like it is. There's a part of her that will feel free, feel like she's released something, right?
Details that you don't do this to me. I've never talked about this or mentioned this, So it's, of course, every marriage has issues.
Wait. Did you say she got humbled? Maybe. I know, right? That's what life does to you. Okay, not just karma. Okay, life experience, it will humble you after you realize that you're not in as much control as you would like to be. When people want to be right, or they are being manipulative, indirectly, passive aggression, these are people that are still struggling with the idea that you really don't control anything outside of yourself and how you respond to crisis in life. Okay?
And people don't know how it all started, what impressions were created, what was said, what was not said.
Impressions were created. Do tell. Are you about to insinuate that you were lied to? Is it me? Did you pick that up?
Even out of respect for all parties involved, there are some things that I'll just probably leave as is. But one thing I will say though is that it's important for you as a human being to know yourself more and love yourself more and know what you want and what you don't want, so that
Stop the cap.
Nobody will come to you and make you see things.
Nah.
Stop the cap.
Nah, it is not about knowing yourself more. Some people don't know that, but that's true, that you should know yourself, right? But it is not that. It's not just that. It's partly that. That's a big part of it, but it's not just that, It's not just that. I think that that foundation that they were trying to cover up something, and it was bigger than them, and they probably beat them in the butt in the marriage. Because energy is not your mate. You know, the foundation of what they had was very shaky. You know, it was shaky. Excuse me. Yeah, it is what it is, Sha, but I still feel for her. You're right. You're right. Maybe somebody said I have a crush. Auntie B somewhere I have a crush. Maybe what was it? Somebody sent me something today. Maybe I'm secretly looking to be the fourth husband. You're right. I'm pandering to Stella because I want her to come and do interview with me on the show. I hope you got something out of this session. I really do.
And tell you these are the things that you should want. Because if you don't have that strength and identity of yourself, someone who is supposed to be that person for you can decide who you should be and how you should be. But the whole thing has polarized people, friends, family members, in-laws, like I'm on this person's side, I'm team this, I'm team that. That's why I really don't talk about it. It's not as if I'm scared of anything. No, it's done. Some people are even wondering, are they still married? No, I'm not. I'm divorced. I'm single. This is the first time I'm saying it categorically. Because even Rumi was like, Hesti, you've never said anything. Teji will ask you these questions. Are you ready to answer? I'm like, I will pray.
So Teji is good at what he does. It will ask you, but not directly. Teji did a fantastic job extracting that information out of her. In my opinion, I do think Stella should write a book. Okay, I do think Stella should write a book. Okay, what did I do? The title of the book should be "What Did I Do?" Okay, that's what I think. I do think Stella should write a book. Not to, you don't did there since. Oh wow, I do think, hit that like button. We're rounding up. I want to round up with some comments. Okay, I do think Stella should write a book. Okay, I do think the public is also helping them weaponize that child. I didn't get to talk about that a lot, but I'll leave that in the open, right? Okay, I think the reason why she should write a book is because the ones who care will learn a lot from what she has to say. You don't necessarily learn from absolute truths. You learn from stories. Okay? You learn from stories. Okay? People, if they are good enough to tell a story and put it in a book, you learn from stories. Okay? You're not learning from the absolutes of whatever you think the truth is. You're learning from how they see things, how they perceive issues, right? That's how you learn in life. And then, she would take her time to write the book. And then after she writes the book, she can go on a tour and tell the stories in the book on just, what our experiences are. And the people that care, not the ones that don't believe her anymore, right? They can learn more, not from the absolute truth of what she's saying, but from how she sees life, what happened. A lot of you have ended up in a husband snatching position by mistakenly or something. Somebody gave you a different impression. She just said it. They gave you a different impression. That's a good title too, more fresh. Right? Yeah. A lot of time, but people can learn from how you see things, how you perceive. There's a lot of you, like I was saying, will end up collecting premium breakfast because somebody gave you a different impression of what was actually happening. They might have told you that their ex were toxic. You might have seen enough events to align with that, and then you conclude that's the truth. In fact, in reality, you will never know the full truth, but you will have your own experience in that situation, right? The angle we would like to see this ultimately is she's a husband snatcher, or Doris Simeon was a bad wife. The absolutes is how we like to see these things. Just looking to apportion blames. Right? That's ultimately what we like to do with these issues. Even me, I'm still tested every day, every single day. I have my moments. I want to apportion blames too. It never works. It never works. Apportioning blames never work, especially when we're talking about romantic relationships. It's poison. Blame and fault is a poison. They are poisons for your romantic relationships. So how do people hold themselves accountable then? You start with self. But do the self one first. And then we'll see if there's even a need for that. Okay? There might be a need, but maybe not. Okay? Accountability is necessary, but self. 4 fingers pointing at you. Self. That's where your power is. That's where your power is. The ones that buy the book, then she can name the book. Let me use your title. Premium Breakfast. Oh my, they will eat it up. Can you imagine? They will eat that up. Curiosity kills the cat. Who are you? You're not curious. The best of you will pick up that book. Some people might be looking for a way to troll her, but the ones that will come to the events are the ones that will really connect with her and say, yes, that was me. I was called a husband snatcher and I did nothing wrong. In fact, I was spending the next 10 years being overly defensive, defending, and it got worse and worse, and no one believed me. No one believed me. Right? And then someone can relate and say, this is why. I'll tell you right now today, residues of bad relationships will hunt down your marriage and destroy it. Will hunt down your reputation and destroy it. And you know why pointing fingers at other people, including pointing fingers at the public, will not work? Because these are nobodies. They don't really control your life. You still ultimately have control, autonomy, agency of your own life. Why? Because you're still responsible for how you react to the public. This is going to play out in your life at different levels. Romantic level, personal relationship, your sibling level. You're going to have moments you question, am I being weak? Am I being soft for not speaking up? You're going to have, when you have those moments, you're doing the right thing. That means you haven't overreacted yet. You might still need to speak up, but at least you are assessing things before you overreact. You're not jumping out there and making a conclusion or conclusive opinion, right? There's multiple angles to it. There's a wide, you can only see this far. There's a wide blind spot behind you. That goes for all of us. Imagine headline, Premium Breakfast, Stella Damascus. In your city. Stella Damascus, if you steal this idea, I will hunt you down. You will pay me. You pay me and more fresh. Right? Then the happiness and the fulfillment that comes from being able to impact other people and being disengaged from the obsession of being right. That level of freedom is unmatched. You can't match that anywhere. I have urges too to do shalaye. I didn't tell you. I do. But my peace comes from disengage the urge. Okay? Particularly when I do it in a sustainable way, meaning I engage something else. There's no vacuum. You can't disengage and not engage purpose. You need to engage purpose. If you disengage just because you want to pretend, you will collect. It will come back and haunt you too. It will hunt you down. It's a shadow. It follows you everywhere. But when it follows you and there's purpose is just that powerful, right? You don't have time for BS when you're engaged with your life mission and purpose. There is still BS. There's still more than enough BS you can choose to point fingers at, but you won't have time for it. You just won't. All right? Because there's only so much energy. So the energy is neither created nor destroyed. There's only so much of you that you have. At least you don't have that much time. At the very minimum, you don't have that much time. Okay? Book title, Premium Breakfast. I love that. Much better than my own title. Oh my God. Let me see here. Toby and Tribe says she's very interesting character. She has lived a full life. Married 3 times. Did you know that men will still want her? Are you aware of that? No, as in like from a very healthy place. And she can still do it in a very healthy way. Just not jump into situations. She needs to make sure that the dust clears. No baby mama drama. That's not, no baby papa with issues with exes. They need to sort that out. It needs to be healthy. If they can't sort it out, you're probably going to collect too. You will become the husband snatcher and collect. Married 3 times, became mother and widow in her 20s. Also, people seem interested in her, even though it's mostly negative. Exactly. The mind does not care about the negative or the positive. People are interested. They are. That's a fact of life. She's bigger than she realizes, brand-wise. As only if she can redirect it in a healthy way that can benefit her and she can impact other people in a positive way, then she can get some fulfillment, because negative clout is not always good. I mean, you can ask you that question, right? She definitely has a story to tell, yes. Shio Mama, hello, good to see you. Shio Mama sponsored the show today. Good to see you. I agree. There's a version of the story that some ex tells the new man, the impression, or woman in their life. I think I heard a caller saying something like a partner's ex-wife was using the kids. But yeah, it's going to be about 50,000 different sides of the story. One of those sides might be your husband snatcher. If that story goes long enough, it becomes the truth. Especially if you're overly defensive and you never really address anything. Especially if your demeanor is condescension against the public. They will look at the nicest person, they will say they are the one telling the truth. The public does not, they don't care.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
It's very healthy to hold oneself accountable. It can be challenging, it's difficult, it's easier said than done. However, it helps you reflect and takes you back to factory setting. Yes, Latu. Yes. It's easier said than done. It's not entertaining too. Like I'm asking you to do work. Who wants to do work? Right? As a weapon, okay, you continue. She continued to say, but she said, like her partner's ex-wife was using the kids, but as a weapon yesterday. I will agree with MOP. See free advice and direct wise counsel. Thank you, Jerry. Lola na correct man. God give you Dalu Mrs. MOP. Listen, she gives me water. She helped me reset my head when I don't get it. She's very young. She will marry again to the right person by God's grace. Yeah. As you noticed today, we didn't talk much. I'm rounding up right now. We didn't talk much about Toyin Oshin Ogun. That's because I don't have any video of her saying anything. Okay. Alright. But if that man is jumping from woman to woman to woman to woman, thinking that the ex-women are the problem, she too go collect. She too go collect. But it's okay because the best of us have collected. Even when we didn't do anything wrong. Oftentimes we feel like we didn't do anything wrong, right? Who thinks they did anything wrong? Even when we are clear we did something wrong, we will find a scripture to justify the BS. Don't we do that? Be say you did collect now. It's okay. We thank God. Collection is I have collection plates. The dollar sign is over there. If you got some value in today's session, please donate hit that like button, show some love, share the video with other people, let them know that we're actually having, yes, we cover trendy topics, but we're having real life conversations here. I connect everything back to your life. Okay, these celebrities are just like us. They are a reflection of how we behave. But I need to break it down, because oftentimes like these celebrities' life are not ours. Yes, it is. At the core, it's the same issues across the board. Okay, it's the same issues. All right. So I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened exactly on 8 o'clock. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.